Welcome to another episode of Smack Talk. Leave it on the court. I am your host, Cerebral. We got the usual suspects, Joe and AK, with me. How you guys doing today?
What's up, brother?
We got Brandon from the Unbearables podcast here with us. What's going on, Brandon?
Everything's good. Just ready to talk.
All right. So first off, I apologize in advance for my voice. Any kind of scratchiness that it is, I am playing hurt a little bit today, but we're gonna get through this. Kind of a slow sports week, but we're gonna get through what we deem as important this week for you guys, and we're just gonna talk about it. So, where you guys want to start off with this? You want to just hop into the NFL because we were just talking shit.
It was a hot take.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, we can do whatever.
Okay.
We can talk about Fortnite too if you want. Just saying.
All right.
I'm gonna give you your own show. Okay.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna give you your own show, and you can just
like
talk.
What was that guy? Bob or Bill and I, the science guy. That's gonna be my show.
Okay.
The science guy.
The science.
I am terrified of what is gonna be on this show.
All right. Football.
All right, so let's start football. As you guys know, I am a Bears fan. Brandon right here, he's a Bears fan. Joe is a Saints fan, and AK is a Giants fan. So primarily, that's going to be what we're talking about, our expectations.
See, he was hurt that 2005 season. He didn't play the whole 2005 season. Yeah, see, I knew it. Man, y'all Bears fans, and I know y'all shit better than y'all.
Is that okay? Is that the year they went to the Super
told
Bowl?
you, Coward.
No, that's 2006, right?
I thought y'all went 2005.
Is that the year?
That's the year you guys played Peyton Manning. I remember that. I was at Stephanie Cardwell's great-grandma's house watching it.
No. It was 2006.
Oh
Joe
man,
fucked
look
me
at the
up.
Bears fan, bro.
Well, yeah, I ain't no Bears fan. Hey,
We know our Bears fan.
hey, he just showed me, so I'm listening off him. So Joe fucked me up. Joe fucked me up.
Wait.
Not holding himself accountable.
You can't throw him under the bus
He
that
just showed
quick.
me. He said that's when they went to the Super Bowl. I said,
did.
oh, all right,
I did.
cool.
And then I went back. My bad. You're right. I take all blame.
Okay.
But not for anything that was said about y'all being Bears fans and don't know your team. That's on him. I take the blame.
Well, you
No.
told me the information
No.
to be able to feel confident to say that. So I wouldn't have said it if you wouldn't have shown me that. I would have left it. We left it as it was.
The smoke I get for a Bears fan. Being a Bears fan is hard enough, and y'all just gonna keep giving me smoke.
But it's your fellow Bears fans that make it hard for you guys because you, like we just said, you guys got Jay Cutler. You said we got Jay Cutler. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
In all fairness, at the time when the Bears did get Jay Cutler,
He had
it was
okay numbers.
He had
okay numbers.
He had a lot of
but
promise,
it was more so. Yeah, it was more so on the
If
promise.
he would have went to a different team other than Chicago, he would have had.
Well, he got hit too many times.
That's
Like,
not even,
stop,
bro. He was on the
stop.
run in Denver.
He
Trust
did
me, he
football.
was on the run in Denver. I watched him a lot when
I watched him a lot on the Bears. He got hit all the time.
He got hit in Denver though, so you can't make that as an excuse. You're a quarterback. You're gonna get hit.
had
Look
the-
at Aaron
he-
Rodgers. Look at Aaron Rodgers.
he
Aaron
had the-
Rodgers gets hit more than anybody.
He had
in
the
league.
record for the most times getting hit and
That's
sacked.
his own line's
Do you know
fault.
how to change it? Keep talking.
That's his own line's fault.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying.
But look at what Aaron
but he
Rodgers
had
does
to
with no
deal
line.
with
He
it.
goes to the Super Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Right,
That's the
said it.
difference. That's the difference. I'm not saying Jay Cutler was going to be Aaron Rodgers, but he did need some help.
You guys thought you were gonna win the Super Bowl.
I did not think you. No, you see, you guys. That's a pretty big assumption on me.
Well, majority of the Bears fans that we come across when they got Jay Cutler, they
a
said
lot of Bears fans that we interact with. So based on our opinion and what we have dealt with, yes, you guys did think you were gonna win a Super Bowl. It doesn't speak for
I
all
agree.
Bears fans.
No.
You know what
I
mean?
agree with that.
But you are right. It is a big assumption.
See,
a huge assumption.
I just feel like I can understand where they were coming from because, like, they did go to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. So if you're thinking they all thought that Jay Cutler was going to be a lot better, so I can see where they're coming from because they thought the defense was going to stay at that level,
Yeah,
and it just wasn't going to happen.
What it was is
right.
it literally was we just needed an upgrade from the quarterback position and we can win the Super Bowl. Jay Cutler was looked at as an upgrade from Rex
And then
Grossman.
the defense took a shit.
The defense started to
Well, it was
decline.
age.
Unfortunate events.
oh yeah,
His age.
they were at their last leg when they went to the Super Bowl. A lot of those guys were getting older.
They had a few more years on them,
But
but once they got rid of Lovey, he was done.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get rid of a defensive-minded coach and you bring in an offensive-minded coach. That's
and
the first thing that's going to happen.
you get rid of a Hall of Fame linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but even then, he
He
wasn't
the same player, definitely.
No, no,
Well,
those
we
guys.
know that the Bears front office does shit like that. They've always done shit
And
like
then-
that.
Yeah.
It's almost an argument, do the Bears owners really want to see them win?
Do they even
They've
know
handcuffed themselves
football?
a lot.
It's the same argument for the Bulls. Do the Bulls
Like-
front office really want to see them win? I mean, you know what I mean?
That I could go on a tangent about that with Jerry, but it's not a big deal. Let's get in the current NFL though. So training camp's right around the corner. I'm gonna let you guys start off with
I don't
this.
mean to interrupt you, but do you know what T.O.'s middle name is?
No,
El Dorado.
that's fire.
Wow.
That
I
is
did,
fire.
I did actually
What
know
the
that.
fuck?
I did actually, dude.
What was his mom doing?
You know, just living her life, man. All right.
What are they on, bro? That's the Alabama shit, I guess.
I just feel like talking about Terrell Owens, they should still honor him.
Well, we're not going. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not
We're
there
gonna
yet.
start there.
So
next?
let's go with just regular NFL training camp, and we'll get to T.O. in a minute.
All right.
So expectations going into the season training camp. A lot of people are talking Giants and Saquon, and
That man's strong.
that dude's quads are ridiculous.
He's real strong.
He did what was it? He did
He did it. He did a 390 clean.
Him and Todd Gurley have been getting it.
they have, but Saquon's making it look really easy.
He's about to. I
Todd
told,
Gurley's
hey,
hanging.
hey,
Yeah, but
Hey.
you can be on it in the weight room, bro. It's got to
true.
transfer.
hey,
True.
we saw him. He'd be all right.
Oh yeah,
He'd
I think,
be all right.
I
Yeah.
think he'll be fine.
He's gonna get the
He might
MVP,
be
rookie of
on my
the
fantasy
rookie offensive rookie of the year.
yeah. You think he's gonna lead the league of rushing?
I think he's gonna be.
think
I
so?
think he's gonna be the offensive rookie of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Offensive rookie.
Well,
of the year.
I'm asking. Do you think he's gonna lead the league of rushing?
No, that's a big step because you got other players with
got
better offensive lines.
True.
We made upgrades in the sense of offensive lines with the Giants because that's obviously who we wanted in the draft and we need to do that regardless. With Odell Beckham back and Sterling Shepard there, I mean, and
Are you worried about Odell Beckham at all?
no, the worried in what sense?
Like getting
I
hurt
mean, yeah, he was.
I-
He was injured. So how do you think he's gonna come back?
I mean,
right off the
think
bat?
think about the technology nowadays. We've talked about this before on here. The advancements in medicine to where you look at a Russell Westbrook tore his ACL and the dude he had back to back seasons of triple doubles.
Yeah, there is a difference in football to basketball.
Well,
though.
yeah, of
in
course.
football,
Trust
you
me,
could
hey, trust
yeah.
me. I fucking know. I tore my shit.
Well, no, I'm not even saying about like the tearing part. I'm saying, well, I kind of
It is. It's
Is that
associated with this. It's
you-
the jump cuts. It's a lot of the movement.
Yeah, and you could also get hit while doing that.
True,
Like
very
they're
true.
trying to avidly hit you. So you could be a little nervous and you could like lock you up even more than you would want
a
to.
lot of it now is mentality and the mental status that you have going into it. Because I think you're right. The technology is there.
They rebuild your knee stronger nowadays. That's the thing. Back 10 years ago, your knee wasn't as strong. Your injured knee wouldn't be as strong. Nowadays, your injured knee is stronger than your uninjured knee nowadays.
When did AP tear his ACL?
2012.
Yeah. I
Somewhere
mean, he
around
came
there.
back and set a record. Came back the next year, set a record.
monster,
So
dude.
it's not even the sense.
But it
yes,
just sucks
and he
because
gets
now
hit
you look
more.
at him and he's-
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's and
Right,
running
it's a
back
running
after
back, you're
30,
right,
it happens.
you're right,
When
you're right.
they say when running backs hit 30, but so I'm not worried about that in all reality because he didn't get hit much to begin with. A lot of his routes are on the outside because he's got speed, or they're little, button hooks or little things. You know what I'm saying? He's not going across the middle like a Gronkowski or the tight end or a bigger receiver.
Yeah, I
is
know he's
going
not
to.
going to get hit as much as some other players.
So I'm not
would.
worried about it because in all reality, he's doing almost the same cuts Russ is. Look at them. Yeah, I understand that he's driving to a basket, but he makes a quick move to break past the cornerback, and he's going upfield, and he might make a couple more cuts from here and out. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about like Eli getting him the ball, but
Yeah.
no, but with the running back there, receivers healthy, it would be all right.
They're gonna have a three-headed monster for a couple of years.
But then Eli's,
That's why I only said a couple of years.
yeah, so when
I
he's
hope he has a big year.
If they can keep Eli upright, he's not a bad quarterback. And that's been proven.
you look at his numbers when we've had solid running backs. He
That is true.
produces.
I remember you pointed that to me.
I mean,
off camera.
we I remember the one year we had the triple-headed monster with Ahmad
Earth, Wind, and
Branshaw,
Fire.
Brandon Jacobs, and I mean, there's two running backs that they both had over 1,000 yards. So you're telling me you got 2,000 yards just from them running backs right there, and then his passing game. I mean, he probably was around 3,000 yards maybe, but I'll take that for winning games, you know.
Yeah,
so I don't
that's all
need
that
Eli
matters.
to be throwing 4,000 yards. Like
Yeah.
he wings it, throwing it for 49 times a game. Like no.
But he has been on a steady decline though, and that never looks good with quarterbacks because quarterbacks usually once they start going downhill, like that's usually
Here comes
it.
the rebuttal. He got hit a lot. That's your argument with Jay Cutler. His offensive line has been trashed for the
That
last 2
doesn't-
years.
yeah, but that doesn't change
so
the
that,
fact
that
that-
can change your game because, and then you don't have Odell Beckham last year, and you lose your second wide receiver in
nobody to
Brandon
throw
Marshall, and who's our running back? I couldn't even name him last year. So you're telling me we had Sterling Shepard and our tight end only with no offensive line. Of course, your numbers are going to decrease.
It's not
I
even-
don't care who you put there. Put Tom Brady there, his numbers are going to decrease. With nothing like that.
Okay, but a lot of times you don't even know who Tom Brady's receivers are. So like,
But
let's
you
just
know,
say
but,
that- no,
but
let's
he has
just-
the best offensive line in the game.
But that's
you give
not-
any quarterback an offensive line and look at what they can do.
It's not about his numbers from last year. It's his numbers just they've been on a steady.
But their
decline.
offensive line has been
His trash
a
for
handful
trust. I'm a
of years.
Giants fan, bro. I'm not being biased and trying to side with Eli, but
all
our
I'm saying is he's
offensive
getting
line-
older. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but look how old Tom Brady is. You can't use the age as an excuse anymore.
Tom Brady is a spectacle of
Eli
health.
Manning. There's a lot
Like,
of
you know what I
quarterbacks
mean?
the same
It's like,
age.
it doesn't make sense.
You look at Phillip Rivers had a great year last year. He's the same age as Eli Manning. It's not the age aspect; it's he has no offensive line. You give Aaron Rodgers the offensive line that dude's going to the Super Bowl every single year. He has no offensive line either. So if you don't give him an offensive line, you have no time to
still-
step back.
you
Trust
still-
me, bro. You have no idea how much an offensive line is important.
Oh,
because
I-
if you can't step back three,
underrated.
if you can't do a 3-step drop.
No, I definitely think I know an offensive
So
line
don't
is
use
important.
Don't use the ages as an excuse as his numbers are decreasing. He had a third-string wide receiver as his number 1 last year.
But you
Any
just told me
quarterback-
earlier that you can't make an excuse on the offensive line.
Make an excuse about what on the
Well,
offensive line?
I mean, off camera we were talking about Jay Cutler, and you're like, yeah, you guys were like, that's his offensive line's fault, and like saying that had
yeah,
nothing
the
to do with
offensive
Cutler.
line. Yeah, if you
But
get
you have
hit,
to be able.
if you're getting hit constantly.
That's what I'm saying though. But also, just because Tom Brady can last a long time doesn't mean everybody else can.
I mean,
everybody's
but you
bodies are
see it.
different.
Everybody is lasting longer in the
How old
NFL
is Drew
because.
Brees? How old is Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers?
yeah, exactly.
They're getting older.
How old
They're
is Big
getting
Ben?
older,
Yes,
but they all
but,
have-
but they're all. But what
He's
I'm
not-
saying, look, I'm
he's
not.
expecting a huge
Yeah,
year out of
no.
Eli.
No, and
He's
that's all
expecting
I'm
a Russell
saying.
Wilson-esque year, a 3,500 yard
Yeah, I
year,
know, I'm-
and getting there.
So it's not
all
the
I'm
age.
saying-
Look how many
That's
the
not
quarterbacks. Look how the top or the top 10 or quarterbacks are this year. I guarantee you, they're all probably 32 and older, if not 34 and older. So it's the ages. Eli's not as old as you think he is. He's just as old as them. So the age isn't nothing. It's not the age. It's the
Like,
offensive line.
I understand what you're saying. I just still think age
It's
plays
the
a factor.
pieces around you.
It's the pieces.
If you have bad pieces around you, you're
Okay,
not
but
gonna
what
succeed.
window do they have? Is what my
What do
point.
you mean? What
2,
window do
maybe
they have?
3 years.
2.
Eli.
Why do they have 2, maybe 3 years? And why did they bench Eli last season?
Because they benched him.
They benched
Hey,
Eli
don't even
for
get on that.
everybody.
And that's why that coach is gone. He lasted 1 year and he was gone because of
I'm
that.
just
No, he got
saying.
fired a week after that. Let me rephrase that. He got fired a week after he benched Eli. So don't even try to say that they benched Eli because he wasn't performing. The quarterback behind him was trash.
He was.
You don't bench your starting quarterback for that. That was a personal dilemma between the quarterback and the coach.
I'm not arguing that.
Yes, you were just trying to argue. You said, well, that's why he sat him just last year.
All right, so-
yeah, motherfucker, because the coach got fired the week after that. So clearly
but-
he was not in the right state to bench Eli.
All right, so
Eli got him fired.
Joe,
What?
what's up with the Saints? I want to talk some Saints football now.
I don't even really want to talk Saints, but I want to keep watching that.
I'm just saying. Okay, I just want to say this. Look, I do think that Eli Manning still has good time ahead of him.
2 Super
I don't-
Bowls and a
I
Super
don't-
Bowl MVP. So
I never disrespected his career. I do think he's a I don't want to say great quarterback, but
Right.
he's up
Good.
there. He's up there. I just feel like father time affects everyone, and you can't say that it
It
doesn't.
affects everyone
differently.
That's it. That's all I'm saying.
It's not
That's all I'm
father,
saying.
but see,
So
you're blaming on his age
you're-
for poor performance, but it's not his age. Give him the right pieces, and he will perform. He will have a 4,000 yard year. He still has it in him.
You basically are denying Eli because of his age when you just said age doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's exactly what you
Or
just
age,
did.
father
That time
affects
catches
everyone
everybody.
differently. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does catch everybody.
But that's
But you're dismissing him because of
No.
his age.
I'm not dismissing him. I'm saying he still has some good time ahead of him. It's limited though.
You said he was just decreasing, and he's not a good quarterback, and that's why he got benched last year.
He's decreasing, but
now
he's decreasing,
you're saying that
but
he
he's
still
not
has
going to
good
be
years.
bad.
So which one is it? Is he still going to have good years, or is he going to be slowly declining? Because if he had a bad season last year, so if he's going to go down from last season, he's going to be fucking atrocious next year.
There's a difference, though. You're making it seem like I'm not putting anything accountable to him having Odell back. You're making it seem like I'm not thinking about him having Saquon Barkley. I'm just saying
You just said that.
No, I'm saying he's decreasing, but when you get more pieces, it can make you look better.
That's what I've just been saying. If you have an offensive line, so what are you trying to say here? Is it his age that is causing it,
I'm not,
or is it the pieces around him,
it
bro?
Can be both.
You're contradicting yourself.
You're
contradicting
So
yourself.
now-
Come with
now-
your
all right.
facts, boy. Come with your
now-
facts
all
next
right.
time.
It can be
Come
both.
with your facts next time.
We are going to the Saints football now. We are going to the Saints
Why
football
can't
now.
it be both?
We're going to the Saints football
Before
now.
you were just arguing about age, but now it's both. When I was arguing that it's his pieces, and you were saying it's his age, now you're saying it's both. So which one is it? Is it both, or is it just one?
What do you mean? But you said it wasn't his age at all. Is it
not
his age?
I'm not blaming his age at all. I said it's his pieces around him, but now you're coming around to the fact that it's his pieces around him.
So how about
Saquon,
them Saints?
Odell. So you're telling me that. So which one is it? You pick
I never said.
Hey, it's either one or both. You pick.
Are the Saints going to win the division this year?
I said
hope,
both.
Man, I hope. The schedule doesn't look too tough, but, I mean,
You just got to beat Atlanta.
yep.
That's it. Just beat and get the wild card.
We play,
Carolina's not a factor to you?
it's tough, bro, because you don't. Cam's been very
So wishy-washy.
inconsistent. Like, if Cam was coming off another great year, like when they went to the Super Bowl,
Cam came into his last season hurt. He came into the season recovering.
Yeah, I think that trade kind of just threw their funk off too a little. Getting rid of Benjamin.
Yeah.
he wasn't.
But when they went to the Super Bowl, he didn't play that year.
Right, I was
No.
gonna say,
He
he didn't play too much. He
but
was
like,
hurt a lot.
and then because Funches isn't. I don't think he's.
He's not.
I
a
don't think
number
he's
one.
that guy. I just don't think he's that guy.
But when they went to the Super Bowl, I don't think they didn't really have a number one.
No, Greg Olsen was.
Yeah, well, Greg Olsen he's their number one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was their
definitely.
number one guy, and I mean, I don't even know who else they had in the receiving corps besides Kelvin Benjamin.
Who was dropping passes left and right? That's who they had. They had somebody that was dropping passes.
Of course.
Left and right. Yeah, it was somebody that.
That's why
was
they
like,
couldn't win the Super Bowl.
This is gonna bother me because it's somebody. It's a known name. I just can't remember who it is. But their receiving corps has never been anything impressive.
No, I mean the last top tier receiver I feel they had was Steve Smith, and that was
definitely.
X amount of years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that was that game when he was on the Ravens, and he
said
played
it's gonna be
yeah.
blood and guts everywhere.
It literally was.
I cleared my schedule and watched that game.
I mean,
Did you have Steve Smith on your fantasy team too? Yeah, so that's how you.
I mean, as a Saints fan right now, it kind of hurts going into the season because of the way that we lost last year. But
I mean, you
It
lost.
was that hurt me watching that game.
and that's not the first.
Oh,
time.
that was the Vikings game. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I felt like that was like
I
the Saints.
forgot
I was
about
like
that.
after that game, I was like the Saints should have won that game.
We were in the same situation, and I believe it was 2010 with Marshawn Lynch. And
Get off me.
The run heard around the world.
the run that Tracy Porter. I think his
Tracy
career
Porter.
ended after that.
it did.
Yeah,
He said, "I give up."
Yeah, didn't he come back and try to tackle him again?
I'll never forget that play. I'm pretty. Hey, you know what's crazy? I think I saw. I don't know where were you at for that Saints when Marshawn Lynch ran? Because I was with you last season. So, and I think I might have been with you the season Marshawn Lynch did that to y'all.
We were at Magnolia.
Yeah.
I remember when I remember the Monday after that Saints Vikings game. I didn't even say anything to
The
Jones.
memes that came
So I'm
out after
sorry,
that shit.
Joe.
Hey, but I mean, I don't know.
It's
I just-
I don't know.
like the fact that your team is there is impressive in itself.
Yeah,
and I can't
yeah,
say
I
anything
never
as a Bears fan, but that's a shitty way to lose a game.
Well, because Case Keenum threw a lollipop, and it's like, how did that even?
It was
How
a
did that
busted
even
play.
work?
It was a busted play.
It was a busted play that ended up working out.
Like I feel like most of the time that should have been a pick or at least a deflection.
Well, that wasn't a. It was your rookie safety that was he overplayed it.
He
Yeah.
overread it. And
Yeah.
he
he tried to
reacted
make
too
a
soon.
play.
He went for the highlight reel instead
Yeah.
of the typical
Yeah.
tackle, the conventional tackle. The conventional tackle, you guys win the game. Highlight reel, you guys lost it, and that just goes to show you why fundamentals work.
Well, Aaron brought it to my attention. If Kenny Vaccaro was in the game, he was hurt during this game. So
Yeah.
if Kenny Vaccaro was in, you don't necessarily know that play is going to happen, but I mean, it is.
He was a top 5 safety last year. I guarantee you that
Marcus
it wouldn't have
Williams
went like
needs to
that.
Get his ass some.
Yeah, you put
Fine.
Kenny.
He should get fined for that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
No, Kenny. Hey, I had Kenny Vaccaro on my fantasy football league. Trust me, I know what he did last year. He was great.
But I mean, I mean, it's a tough division. I mean, every team in the division except Tampa's been in the Super Bowl in the last 10 years. We're
Which
the
is
only
good.
team to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And Atlanta lost in bad fashion.
I don't know how much you guys pay attention to NFC South, but when the top 3 teams minus Tampa are doing good, we're all doing good. And then if one of the teams is doing bad, we're all doing bad. It's like you're either gonna make the division at 11-5 or 7-9. It's
Right.
not. It's
Yeah.
all 3 teams are so consistent with each other, and then you just got Tampa.
Which
Can't
they
figure
were
it out.
supposed to. They were.
They were supposed
I
to
had
be.
I had
next.
so much faith in them at one point in time, and Winston just kind of.
What about the NFC North?
NFC North, man. Like I don't.
They predicted Packers go to the Super Bowl.
That's
Packers,
wild.
Packers, Jaguars.
I did see that.
Yeah, I
That's
saw
wild.
that yesterday too.
That's wild.
Jaguars one could easily. It could
It's,
have been
it,
them.
it,
The Packers are at best the second best team in the division.
I mean, it's hard to beat the. I think it's gonna be hard to beat the Rams. I think it's gonna be Eagles, Rams, number 1 and 2 in that division, in the conference.
Yeah.
In the conference. Because I forgot Sue went to St. Louis, so you got Donald
LA.
and Sue. Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Look, it's I do it all the time. Yeah.
But them two there on the offensive line with that whole defense as a whole, that makes them.
My only fear is that they're doing what the Eagles did like 5-6 years ago, and they're rounding up a bunch of names. And
remember that.
and scheme wise, it may
They,
not work
they had
out.
Javon Curse, didn't they have Javon Curse there?
Yeah, and then you let Vince Young get on camera and call you guys a super team.
oh yeah, god damn it, I totally forgot about Vince Young.
So I'm just worried chemistry wise, because on paper they should be probably, like you said,
Yeah.
1 or 2 in the NFC. But if it doesn't mesh well, it's going to be a dumpster fire quick.
I think their defense is going to be solid. It's the whole Jared Goff and make sure Todd Gurley's got to have a year like he did last year, because I had him 2 years ago in our fantasy football league and he was a super dud.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Goff could get better though.
He can,
he didn't have a bad year.
No.
He definitely
He had a solid year.
leaps and bounds. of
Having a
improvement.
solid a running game though like that opens up the passing
obviously,
game in any situation. So yeah, as long as Todd Gurley, I feel, can have produced the same numbers.
I feel like as long as Todd Gurley is healthy, he'll be cool.
13, give me 1,300 yards. You know,
all purpose or rushing.
just rushing. I mean,
Yeah, 1,300 all purpose yards for a guy like him is low.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would say
Unless
like
you have a
18,
second running
1,800
back.
all-purpose yards or something like out of him.
Yeah, but I think you're right. It's going to be Eagles and Rams.
I would like to see that. I would like to see that.
I don't really see a chink in the Eagles' armor right now. I mean, there's a chance. I just don't see it.
And you got to think about it. They had their backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
Granted, it was Nick Foles,
Right.
but
Who
it
was
still was your
tailor-made
backup.
for that
Yes.
system, yeah.
Yes, which was still was your backup though. So you're out of sync a little bit, maybe not, but they still did it, But how many points did they actually score in the Super Bowl? Was it 17?
Not many, dude.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't many, and that's the only thing. They were like, imagine if it would have been Carson Wentz,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they would have actually averaged, hit 20-something points instead of being strict solely on the defense, almost to hold the score in check.
Do you think that they're gonna trade Nick Foles at all? Because he said he would be cool with playing at another team, being a starter.
And he's got
somewhere else.
value.
Yeah, he does.
And I mean, now that he's a Super
as
Bowl
well.
winner.
He's so athletic. Nick
You know
Foles
what I
is
mean?
so athletic.
Yeah, why
Have you
not?
guys- I don't know if you guys ever saw videos of him playing basketball. This dude is a hooper. So it's like, bro, he's just a natural athlete. So in my eyes, he can go anywhere and play. He's gonna be good.
Well, he's had a chance as a starter, and it didn't work out. And I think that's why everybody's kind of iffy about it. I think from the Eagles standpoint, because he's only got this year left on his contract.
Yeah.
Because Wentz isn't going to be 100% ready when the
Yeah.
season starts, I keep him.
And it's still, you never know.
Right.
He could just cut wrong one time and it might be gone. He might
might
try to
need-
come back too early.
He might need the whole rest of the season to recover before he's back to being Carson Wentz. So you need Nick Foles there just in case. That's that security blanket.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, in all reality, I would just let Carson Wentz sit a little bit and let Nick Foles take over the first 4 games to let you get even more
I'm
rest.
sure that's the plan.
Because that's just
It's just the only worry about that is, and I think we all believe that Carson Wentz is the better player, obviously.
of course.
But is that it does start controversy, even though it doesn't make sense to have it. Right.
Well,
so
unless
that-
Wentz
yeah,
is
you know what I
okay
mean?
with it. If Wentz
Yeah.
is like, you know what, I'm comfortable sitting out those 4 games because I would rather come back 100% than 85%.
But all the
The
talk
only-
about Carson Wentz is that he keeps on saying that he wants to be out, like when the season starts. Like, he wants to be playing then and there. He's like, I think I'll be ready. So I think it's even getting to him that Nick Foles was the one that won the Super Bowl and not him. Because and I know he shouldn't, because obviously he's the better talent. And he's the one that his team values more. But people get in their own head, especially when they have big egos in them. Mostly, I mean, a lot of quarterbacks are the center of the team.
In my opinion, the only thing that can turn it into a controversy is if the Eagle, however many games that Nick Foles starts at the beginning of the season, because I don't think Carson Wentz is going to start at the beginning of the season. If Nick Foles sets the world on fire for all of those games,
How do you take him out?
Exactly.
How do you take
out the hot hand?
That was what team was that?
Happened
recently,
yeah.
and somebody had the hot hand, and they didn't bring him back. They didn't
talking about Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith back then, or no?
No,
that
it was more recent than that.
Yeah, it was more recent than that.
Was it the quarterback?
Yeah, it was quarterback.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. But I don't think it will be an issue in all reality, because me and Joe were talking about this at the house last night. The players themselves, their mentality is different nowadays. It's not so much me. It's like, let's win. Let's us win as a team. So I think if he's not ready, he'll be like, all right, I'll sit, and it won't be a big deal to him, because he's like, you know what? This is just the other piece that's got to play until I'm able to come back.
When you win a championship, guys are so infatuated with that feeling. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get that feeling again.
It happens.
I mean, that's the whole thing
look
about
at New
Golden
England.
State. Well,
New England really, in all reality, started it for them
Exactly.
consistently going back and back and back and back to how many Super Bowls?
Yeah, and I mean, because it used to be you win a Super Bowl, all right, now it's time to get paid. But
Yeah.
you see a lot more players. It's like, all right, what do I got to do to
And
keep
what's
this going?
Belichick's pitch to people? You come here to win. You don't come here to get paid. You come here to win championships. You don't come
That's
here
why
to
a lot
make
of
a
people take pay
paycheck.
cuts.
That's
why a lot
another
of people
reason
take
why
pay
you
cuts.
don't see them big name players in New England, because
They
they
don't
wanna
last.
buy in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
they
don't
don't last.
buy in. They're like, no, I'm not going to listen to you, but
Well, they don't even want to take the pay cut either.
No,
So you know
no,
what I
they
mean?
don't.
Like, money to a lot of people, like they say championships is
And-
important,
I mean,
but
that's-
money might be more.
That's why
Especially
you
if
see
haven't
those big
tasted a
names go to
championship
New
yet.
England on the
To
back
be
end of their
the
career
champions.
after
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
made all
yeah.
their money.
Yeah, but some people, and in all reality, what it is that's why you always see, one and done in college basketball and two and done in professional, because they got to make money for their family. Because a lot of them, unfortunately, grow up in so they want to get
understand.
the biggest
Yeah.
paycheck they potentially can, so they can help make sure they're good for
and I don't mind
as
that.
long as possible.
The first
I don't either.
contract, get your money, but
Yeah.
eventually you got to take the sacrifice if you want to win. And
Yeah.
some of the guys, they're like, no, I'd rather rack up all this
Yeah.
money. And
This actually
say his name.
touches
Don't say his
on a
name.
situation with
I know, I was thinking it
I know
wasn't.
exactly what you're thinking about. Don't
with,
say it.
with Todd Gurley, because he was saying like, look, he's making, I think, like $2 million next season or something like that, and he's saying, look, I know he said this, all I want is $80 million. I'm like, okay, that's all you want, but he basically was saying that he wants to get paid
All I
like
want is $80
basketball
million.
players,
Yeah,
and that's the thing,
it's
like,
football.
and it's
Well,
it's
you
a way
got-
bigger roster.
well, you
First
got
of
the
all,
football
NFL
money is
You got the NFL's player union looking at all these NBA contracts like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
It's out of hand.
but the thing is, though, in the NBA, you can take a pay cut and you're still making a substantial amount of money. I know football players make substantial amounts of money, but the running back with the highest salary is our highest contract is a $40 million contract. In the NBA,
how much of that is guaranteed though?
That's
See,
the other problem.
That's the other
You know what
problem.
I'm
No,
saying?
that's what he was talking about. He's like, these are things that we need to fix. But if that's the case, then you could see more people saying would be willing to take the pay cuts.
I feel like the NFL as a whole has a problem right now, a huge problem,
bunch of problems.
And unless they figure it out,
No,
It's
the NBA's got problems, man. They pay them way too much, so now they're going
I
off
don't
of
mean
that.
just money.
But-
I
well,
mean,
Yeah.
get
As a
into
whole,
the
as
politics
yes,
and everything
yes.
like that,
But if
which-
it's to the money thing, bro, y'all are getting paid $20 million for 3 years to play the sport you love. That if you get hurt, this team's probably gonna take care of you.
Yeah.
To where, bro, that is you guys don't need to pay nobody $300 million.
No. I think for the players, excuse me. I think for the players, if they just made those contracts guaranteed, the NFL players wouldn't complain nearly as much.
No.
But the fact that, you've got 15, 20%, on average, it's probably like 30% of their contract is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So what's the real number is constantly the question being asked. You know, and it's usually a lot of incentives. It's like, all right, well, for you to maximize your money, you got to do this,
Pro Bowl.
right.
Yeah.
They add those on.
And then you've got and then the
3,000
players-
yards.
But that's
Yeah.
still not even close to what NBA players.
Oh
make.
no,
No,
it's,
no,
it's
of
not.
course not.
I do think that somewhat like the roster and how much you can trust NFL players is a really big deal because you don't really know how long their careers are
life
going
of
to
a-
last.
Well, and then-
And that's the problem, yeah.
at
And-
4.5 years.
And then
Yeah.
the other problem, the reason why the NBA contracts are so much is, yes, NFL is king as far as numbers and everything goes, but you have to distribute that money across 53 players, and with the NBA, it's 12
Yes.
players.
Yes.
So the NBA does not make as much money, but it doesn't have to share it with as big as a pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I mean, because the money's there for both, for both sports.
Yeah, if football was a 10-man sport, you would have these monster contracts, but it's not. So
True. You got 53 players
yeah,
to pay.
yeah, it's a lot, and then even then you got guys on the practice squad that are still getting paid and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So you're still even dishing out more money than 53. You know, you got the whole practice squad that you
Right.
got to pay.
Which
yeah,
is another
it's not
another roster.
Practice squads are like 12 to 20 players.
So basically, they're an
yeah.
NBA roster.
Yeah, but they're not
And
getting
they're
paid a lot of
making
money,
100 Gs,
but
maybe
that's
150.
think
You're
you
right.
still
It
add
is.
out
But they're
extra,
still making a good money.
that's $1 million
Yeah.
right there, you know. So
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
so yeah, they're paying out a lot more on that.
So what's a successful season for the Bears?
They won 3 games last year. You just
7, maybe 500.
6 to 7 is you just want to see. Honestly, I don't want to necessarily tie it
Trubisky.
exactly. I don't want to tie it to win total. It's more so the development of Trubisky and this offense.
Yeah, because if Trubisky isn't good, then the Bears, it's a loss. They're
Yeah.
gonna that's it.
Like the defense
traded
made
away
it.
to get him.
The defense made it back to being respectable last year. They were a top 10 defense, which I called. If they can take another step, they don't have to be top 5, but if they break into that top 10 defense consistently and the offense makes strides, then they can legitimately do some things. I don't see it yet, but I want to see the development of Trubisky. I want to see what the Matt Nagy offense looks like. I want to see continuity. I want to see everything that is supposed to be the Ryan Pace vision. Exactly. So if I had to put a number on wins on it, I'd say 7 to 9. We are in a tough division.
7 and 9.
Yeah. 7 to 9 is for where we've been would be a great
No,
season.
I'm not saying. I just think it's a little high.
It probably is.
But I understand.
probably
I
is.
mean, it is a tough division. It is a very tough division. People underestimate the Lions too. On top of that, and then you got Minnesota and Green Bay. I mean,
Yeah.
they could all be over. You know,
That could be
People
6
always
losses right
underestimate
there.
Yeah,
Matthew
yeah.
Stafford.
Oh, I've always
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
Matthew Stafford. Since he came in the league, everybody loved Mark Sanchez out of that draft, but I was always Matthew Stafford.
It's because Mark
Matt-
Sanchez almost went to the Super Bowl right out the bat.
Because he came from
Yeah.
USC.
He went to 2 straight and
Yeah.
He came from
You know what I
USC.
mean?
That's
It
like
is
the
a big
golden
deal.
school.
Yeah, the golden school for
Matt Stafford
quarterbacks.
came from
Right.
Georgia.
Right.
Some school that usually running backs come out of, or defensive backs, or wide receivers. You never get a white quarterback to come out of Georgia and actually do something in the league. You know.
Yeah, I think that with Matt Stafford particularly, either you love him or you hate him.
Yeah.
I know plenty of people up in the Detroit area that cannot stand him. They feel about Stafford how some Bears fans feel about Jay Cutler. That's how they look at it.
Something.
And but Stafford
that's a
Stafford
little
is done.
strong.
That's how they
That's
are.
strong.
I promise you.
16 at one point.
Yeah, and then
What the fuck? You hate him?
Well, it's kind of like it's that mindset of kind of like how we would talk
didn't get a
about
ring.
how we would talk about Washington teams and everything. It's like we've always had we've had decent enough records, but what have
don't
we
blame
done?
the quarterback. Blame.
Well, it's the NFL,
You
man.
know,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the NFL. The first person you're going to blame is the
They
quarterback.
need to blame the coach, the office, because they never really.
Well, to an
But
average
what
fan,
average
they
fan
blame
just
the quarterback.
blame-
To
yeah,
us,
yeah.
we see it as
Yeah,
yeah,
big
you
dummy.
break the whole thing
we
down.
see it as the front office don't give the
Well,
quarterback
Jim,
nothing. So how do you expect
it was Jim Caldwell was their last head coach, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so.
No business being their head coach. In my opinion, he had no business
I
being
mean,
their
I
head
like
coach.
Jim Caldwell, but I don't like him as a head coach. I liked
Yeah.
him when he was an assistant under Tony Dungy.
100% agree.
But him
But-
calling the shots, I'm not.
But getting back to the Bears, and I know Brandon, you probably want to touch on it too. I don't have very high expectations, but I do want to see
Some progression.
I want
Yeah,
to see
yeah, of course.
exactly.
The thing is that with Mitchell Trubisky, there still is a lot of timidness in his game. Like he doesn't make those plays, those risky passes. He doesn't like to do that, and I want to see more of that. That's
He's
what
young.
that's the thing.
That's usually- that's a young guy
Yeah.
thing.
I don't.
Let him break
I think
out.
he's afraid of throwing interceptions, though.
I'm going to be honest
which is
with you. I think that the coaching staff made it such a big deal that you don't throw an interception that he played like that because they
Played
said
on eggshells.
they wanted
Played on
they
eggshells.
He could tell him, hey, you're gonna fuck up. It's natural. You're in the second year in a very hard sport, very hard position to learn.
With no
Not
wide
just sport.
receivers. With no wide receivers to trust to thread the needle
Allen
too.
Robinson isn't terrible.
Now I'm saying
you're
last
right.
year.
Okay,
I'm saying
okay,
last
okay.
year.
Oh,
Yeah.
last
Who?
last
Who did he
year-
have?
No
He had
weapons.
Joe was out there running routes for Mitchell Trubisky.
I got
You
you
guys
at
didn't
least
see
10
him?
receptions.
It said, his shirt said Joey Pizza on it.
But yeah, no, I think a lot of his stats and the reason why people are still on the fence about him is because the way the coaching staff went into the season with him. They basically
we
told
know-
him
I
to
feel
be.
that similar way, but I just want to see it. You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah.
what I want to
We
see
know
from
that
him.
Glennon had no business starting. They had no business signing him for what they signed him for. You drafted up to get the player you wanted. Start him. Start the development now. What are you waiting on?
I think
What are you waiting
It's
on
'cause
to become a 500 team? Because the Bears didn't have a shot last year.
I think what it was is that he was not ready
You're
to
not
play.
gonna be until you're ready, bro. You
It-
know that. You
he
gotta
was
get in and throw him to the fire.
Trubisky
Well,
was
he's
a
never
special
even took a
case.
snap under the center like yet in his whole career.
Yeah,
He
until
only played 13 college games.
and
That's-
that's the
why,
reason.
yeah.
That's
So
the only reason.
Get him in and start
The,
developing.
be-
No, I
the
was-
best
I was-
training is hands-on training.
See, I was on your
I
I was on the
agree.
same board as you, and I felt that way as well. But I can
seeing it
see
from the
see
coaching
why.
position,
Yeah.
How do you say, okay, we're not gonna play him because he's not
Well, if you
ready?
think he's gonna muff the ball a bunch of times, you know what I mean. He's gonna keep on
But you're not
fumbling like.
expecting to
Yeah,
make
you're
the
not
playoffs,
expecting
though.
to win that
But
division.
it's his
to win
confidence
8
though.
games.
It's his that's why I want. I don't want him to be like.
You gotta lose before you can win.
Yeah,
You gotta
said that a
lose
million
before you
times.
can lose.
But the thing is though,
Gotta
if he's not ready,
But
why
when
do
is
this?
he? Like,
yeah,
how do
he's
you
not going to get
him
ready until you let him play in the situation.
first of all,
Yeah,
you're
it's-
not gonna see it, but the coaches might see it.
True.
well, that's
You're not,
practice.
you
of
can't.
course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So they probably honestly felt like this is not a good idea, and obviously
clearly.
when he came in, it was definitely better than Mike Glennon. But
yeah,
I mean,
it-
that's not saying much though.
Yeah, it got to the
Talent-wise,
it
but
got
Mike
to the
Glennon's
point.
he's taken professional snaps before. He's been on a few professional teams to where he understands.
And they didn't expect that level of dumpster fire.
Yeah, that
No,
was
no,
No, I mean they gave him a lot of
Justin
money,
played
so
way,
how
like,
could
better
they?
in the NFL than he
Yeah,
did.
at that point in time, you got to justify why you spent the money on him. So we got to start him. We can't
Okay.
sign somebody
I
for
feel that.
X
Yeah.
amount of
I feel
dollars
that.
and let him sit on the bench
feel
because
that.
then they're going to be like, well,
At
what
least
the
give him
fuck
a
is he doing?
shot.
It was
yeah.
it was a bad situation, but they
I
created
think it was
that
I think it was a
situation.
desperate signing because they were just
They
Ryan-
they
weren't-
were
yeah.
lost
Right.
at that point in time.
Outside looking in, outside meaning I'm not a Bears fan.
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
into it,
yeah.
I see the improvement and I see the strides you're making, but now it's just the same story. Are you going to do it? Is it
Yeah.
going to happen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like now we gotta see. if
Well,
it'll
now
work.
it kind of
Now
has
Minnesota-
to.
my,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
my enthusiasm
They're
as a
gonna be
Bears
good.
fan.
They're going to be solid for sometime. Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys are going to
As
basically
long
have to
as-
wait till Aaron Rodgers is out
As
of Green
long
Bay.
as Aaron Rodgers has Green Bay, or
He's in Green Bay.
has
I
Aaron
understand what you're
Rodgers,
saying.
I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's always going to be because they're going to give him a few pieces here and there. If they keep him there for a couple more years and just give him a couple dying receivers to kind of make something happen, they will just to keep the ship going.
So let's bring in one more NFL topic, and then we might take a break. I don't know. I don't know what the time's looking like. So we've been talking about T.O. recently. He's been in the news a lot. So the Hall of Fame has announced that they are not going to honor him the week of the ceremony because he's not going to be there. So T.O. is the first person to not ever go to his induction ceremony. So this is unprecedented water. Period. You pulled
You
up
know
a
what
headline.
Michael Irvin said?
What did Michael Irvin say?
Hall of Fame's decision to ignore Terrell Owens is the right decision.
Oh, of course, Michael Irvin.
Yeah,
He's trying to make everybody forget he smoked crack.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
He's trying to be like, I'm a respectable individual now. God damn it.
I'm not the greatest person when it comes to Michael Irvin. He's not that high on my list.
No, I know. I'm just.
But
saying,
I hear what
like,
you're saying. Yeah,
What do you
I mean,
do you
he's
agree with
it's
him?
going
Like,
it's
hold on.
going to be a headline. Him saying it clearly.
Yeah, of course. And he's just trying to put some spotlight
So
on him. True.
what T.O.
TA?
not going to the ceremony? Here we go again. T.O. not going to the ceremony doesn't shock me because I think he feels disrespected, and we did talk about this before
Yeah,
we
we
went
have,
live.
yeah.
He feels disrespected not being a first ballot Hall of Famer because numbers wise, you can't argue it. His attitude did keep him out from being a first ballot Hall of Fame, and I don't disagree with you at all when you guys said that was why he didn't get in, and I agree.
Yeah.
But
it shouldn't count.
It
and I
should
agree
not
with
have
you,
happened.
But unfortunately,
It's-
does,
yeah.
you know.
So he has the right to respond however he wants
Yeah,
to.
I don't blame him. You know, in all reality, if I'm him at that point in time, I don't care if I make it. If they don't honor me at the,
He knows what
he
he
knows
did.
what he did.
He don't
Yeah.
gotta prove shit to
No.
anybody else.
And
Right.
that's definitely how T.O. feels, especially because he
That's
keeps
T.O.
That's
on.
his ego. That's his ego.
Well, like if he keeps on trying to make a comeback in the NFL, you know he doesn't care about what
I don't
anybody
think
thinks.
he's trying. I think that's media. That's
I think that's just putting
No,
his
he
name in the
literally
media.
posted something on Instagram talking about how he's making his NFL comeback right now.
Oh yeah, so you guys notice how everyone's talking about could T.O. play in the NFL again?
Yeah.
Smack Talk started it. Let's just get that out there.
Yeah.
Colin Cowherd listened to our episode and started talking.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
That actually was a good argument though that him and T.O. had. Colin Cowherd and T.O. T.O.'s like, what do you mean I can't? Colin Cowherd's like, dude, you're 44. He said, I run a 4.40. What do you mean?
Yeah,
He said,
he's-
I'm not going
I'm
out
still
there and
dunking on him on the
expecting to be-
court. I'm an
Yeah,
athlete.
yeah.
But I'm going out there. I can be productive.
He could still produce.
He
Is the
could
point?
definitely.
That's the point.
He
of
could
his
be a
argument.
possession
Yeah.
receiver. He could
He
be.
could be a possession slot receiver.
He'd be a
Yeah.
Larry
50
Fitzgerald.
catches a game?
Larry
The
Fitzgerald. You look at
Catches a
him.
season?
50
Nah,
catches.
a season. My bad.
Yeah. The way that they play defense in the NFL now,
Hey,
I'm
man.
trying to ignore it.
Hey,
I really am trying to
don't
ignore
hit
it.
nothing. Just let it be because the fire department's gonna show up again.
Yeah. Oh man, I just got the bill for that the other day. The way that they play defense in the NFL, T.O. could be a slot receiver, and he doesn't have to worry like he did when he was playing.
No.
Like he's not gonna get rocked.
No, the players, it's not like that anymore. I mean, the game is faster, but the size of the players, in the sense of linebackers, I mean, you don't have a Ray Lewis out there anymore. I mean, the linebackers used to be the size of Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
And they're not like that anymore. They're converting safeties into linebackers nowadays.
they are a lot
Outside
faster,
linebackers.
though.
They
They are a
but
lot
what I'm
faster,
saying is
yeah.
their size are going down compared to how it used to be. But I mean, T.O. obviously, I mean, he could probably go
He
play
could
in the
play
league.
as a slot receiver for sure.
I-
Like
you-
there's especially
there's
his,
no way you
his
could-
you're right. His size in general, it just
Man's
changes
in shape,
everything.
Yeah.
44 years old,
And it's
looks
not like he
36.
lost his hands either.
No,
you know what
no,
I mean?
no,
like if the
no.
ball's there, T.O.'s gonna catch it.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
Especially if you keep your workout regimen.
And
going.
he doesn't. There's a lot of. I
that.
mean, you look at Ocho Cinco. Ocho Cinco still is in shape and works
Yeah.
out and everything. I mean,
He's a weird one, dude. I follow him on Instagram, and he's out there.
Chad,
Yeah.
I mean, he changed his name to Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, you're right.
did he
You're
change
right.
it back?
Yeah, we
Okay,
talked about
yeah,
that too.
he did
yeah.
change it back.
Yeah, we talked about it, but no, I mean, if that's what I mean, it doesn't surprise me that the NFL was like, all right, well, T.O., we'll one up you. We're not gonna honor you. And T.O., in all reality, his mindset was probably like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's made it clear.
I
he
don't
doesn't care.
care.
Yeah, he's made it clear.
You
he
know,
doesn't
so
care.
it's like in all
How
reality,
you-
fuck a Hall of Fame. I know what I did. You know, if Jerry Rice never got in the Hall of Fame, he'd be like, I don't care. I know I'm still the best wide receiver that there ever has played the game.
Yeah.
My numbers argue. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Anything they want to
talk
try to
for me.
rebuttal
Right.
to that.
Yeah.
You know, and so I mean,
T.O. has top 3 all-time
Like
numbers.
before, the NFL needs to look at it like before you're going to try to put the hammer down, make sure they care first. Because if T.O. doesn't give a fuck, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it
No,
doesn't
no.
actually.
It's funny because think about how that era of wide receivers, how they acted in the sense of the showboating,
They were all
the
divas.
antics.
Popcorn
All,
ready.
yes, all the antics. I wonder if coaches use that for their best players nowadays. Like, if you act like this, you won't get into. They will get you in the Hall of Fame, but they won't honor you. Don't act like this. Act like this. Like, I wonder if they use that as a model to not be
Yeah.
like T.O.
I could see that.
How he was like, and you think about it. There's not players nowadays
point.
that don't do that. I mean, how often do you see that now? They celebrate. Most of them, they'll spike the ball, and that's really about it. There's no crazy antics. There's no
that's because
shit.
the
Yeah.
NFL made
Yeah,
it. Yeah, the
they
NFL has
can
made it so
celebrate. They can
rough
celebrate
that
now,
you know
yeah.
now guys like it used to be. Wide receivers would meet up in the offseason to talk, like figure out different ways to celebrate.
Yeah.
All your stud wide receivers would do that, but it's been out for so long. It's like
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I
it
just don't
is
think
coming
it's-
back though. A little
I don't think
bit.
it's that-
There are a
it's-
lot of organized celebrations and
Yeah,
for
it's
after
coming
touchdowns
back.
now.
It was a trend. It was a
Yeah.
tradition that was held for so long, and then you wipe it out completely. So now that you brought it back, players don't feel the same way
No,
about it now.
and a lot of
No,
it,
not enthusiastic.
and and not even just that. Like I said, their whole mentality as a whole, they just want to win. So that extra shit, the showboat and all that, I feel that they're just kind of like, we'll just leave it up to the side. I want to win. Like their mentality, they want to. And it's not like so much like, oh, I'm celebrating like who was it? T.O. ran in
Ran to the
Dallas
star, yeah.
and planted the ball down. Like you don't see that the people, everybody's
They get
friends.
Smacked by Roy Williams.
Sorry, T.O.
Yeah.
But that's why they didn't care that you didn't want to come to the Hall of Fame because you did shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, in NFL, you only have a handful of divas, like realistically, that are outspoken divas. You got Odell Beckham.
Yeah, that's the
You've
first
got
one that came to mind.
He's probably the worst.
you got AB. AB's hit or miss.
He's not like in
Backs
Odell.
it up, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's one of the few players that can get away with being cocky.
But see,
Yeah.
I don't think he's.
you're right.
I don't think he's arrogant.
No, I
No,
don't think so
he's
either.
arrogant.
No.
Odell Beckham is arrogant
Yeah.
in the sense of his skill.
He wants to be the highest paid player in
He
the NFL.
does, but
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, I feel that he respectively is cocky. He's not the arrogant cocky about it. Like,
I
oh,
feel like he has a better understanding of who he is and what he means to a team.
Yeah, well, that,
You know what I mean? Like
he's
if Odell
older than
Beckham-
Odell too. He's
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 years older than Odell.
But
That
if-
usually helps mentality wise.
If
too.
Odell Beckham actually believes he should be the highest paid player in the league, that means he's okay with making his team suffer because of it. And that's a really big thing.
Well, I think Odell Beckham looks at it.
The quarterback should be the highest paid player on
Odell
the team.
Beckham is more marketable than AB.
Yeah. For
sure.
And I think that goes into it. It's like, look, y'all need me.
Yeah.
Not just the Giants. The NFL needs me. Gotcha.
Yeah, I understand that, and you see AB's big on his Instagram, his Snap, and everything like that. And Odell Beckham is too, but he's also out there on camera.
He's
in
kinda-
commercials.
And
Odell Beckham's like a
he's-
celebrity.
He's
essentially.
leading,
yes, he
he's
is.
leading pop culture waves.
Yes, he is. And
He is.
Fucking gets it in during
Oh,
the
he
workout.
oh
absolutely
yeah, no,
does.
that's what I'm saying.
That
He's
shit is wild.
he's on his Instagram, his
Yeah.
Snap, and he's socially active like that sense, but he's not out there in the limelight like
I mean,
Odell is. So
you
that's why I
guys-
feel that the whole
you got-
cockiness is.
Yeah, I mean, you guys remember the Super Bowl? They had Odell Beckham in commercials for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
That tells you all you really
I mean,
need
you
to
haven't seen
know.
a Big Ben in an Antonio Brown commercial. You see an Eli in an Odell Beckham commercial.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
you
they know people are going to eat that shit
yeah,
up.
and it's also New York.
Yeah.
It's New
Yeah.
York. It's
Biggest market.
It's New
Yeah,
York.
definitely, I agree.
It comes with that territory.
You know what I'm saying? Think
Absolutely.
about Kobe was in commercials. LeBron was in commercials when he
The
was
Kobe
in
LeBron
every,
puppet. Yo, I saw a meme of those commercials the other day. I said, "Oh shit, those were funny. those were good commercials."
Honestly, I forgot about those. So you just said that. But yeah. So no, like, you know, you're right. There's only a handful, and even after those two, I mean.
Yeah, I've been thinking long and hard.
do
I
you-
can't think of
who do
another
you
one
really
that's
think of?
legitimately
And the
a
thing
diva.
is you got to think wide receivers realistic because running backs are usually quieter.
I mean,
Yeah.
is Tom Brady a diva?
No, I don't think so.
No, he's in a really shitty situation. So everything he does, I don't blame him for.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even think that there is a quarterback that's necessarily a diva.
You could
Cam
make an
Newton.
argument.
I was gonna say
I love Cam
because of
Newton.
like
But-
the forced trade. You know what I mean? Like he forced them to trade to San Francisco essentially.
Garoppolo. Talk
Yeah,
about
Jimmy
Tom Brady.
Garoppolo.
Oh,
like so you can make an
that-
argument for it. But I
If he
understand.
doesn't get his
yeah.
way, he's not gonna play type thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
The
Yeah,
only
'cause
thing we
yeah,
have to
we'd
go
have
by,
to look into it
yeah,
and
that's the
find
thing
out.
because we don't know the true
Obviously,
facts of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
there's a
because-
lot that goes.
yeah.
You know
Well,
what I'm
NFL's really quiet, so it's kind of
and the Patriots are very quiet. They don't let. It's like if you're not in our family, you don't know about it. the
Ironically,
problems.
in the NFL, stuff leaks when there's an issue between the player and the organization. So I think that the organizations have a lot of power to control the narrative and stories and stuff
Oh,
that leaks
it's-
out.
it's like anything.
Because the Odell
CNN,
Beckham,
NBC.
the Odell Beckham, the video that got out of him didn't happen until he started talking about wanting to be the highest paid player in the NFL.
Oh, when he was a little girl.
Uh-huh.
Smoking
he
a blunt.
he stopped
with
talking
cocaine
about
on
that.
the table. I was like, yeah, that's how you play in New York.
But like that
Yeah,
stuff like
they try
that.
to
doesn't-
diminish his character so he doesn't
Exactly.
get that money. 'Cause
Right.
They also might not like him because he is so openly out there about his arrogance and the way he plays and everything.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
No, they don't.
The
But they
committee's a
understand
bunch
how
of
good you
old
are.
white dudes that want you to come in and shake the ref's hand after you score a touchdown and you know what I'm saying?
AK said that, not me.
Yeah, a bunch of old white guys. And the same thing with the Hall of Fame committee.
Oh yeah. No, you're 100%
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
and-
so if you act out of line, we're not going to protect you.
Yep. If you're black and you act out of line, we're not going to protect you.
Hot take. But
Am I
it's
wrong?
hard
I'm
to
taking
we
it. I'm
all
taking it.
agree.
I'm
That's
taking it.
right.
Yeah.
Because let
I
me tell you
agree.
this.
You're right. You're
Jeremy
right.
Shockey, when he played with the Giants, he has interviews saying that he goes to the club the night before the football game and gets drunk as fuck. Wakes up the next morning, goes to his doctor, gets IVs full of fluids to get him ready for the game.
Whoa.
So, if that was a black player that did that shit,
Suspended.
Oh, fuck. He,
What?
Yeah.
Okay. What? I can't. I'm struggling with this. What was the wide receiver on the Eagles that got caught on video saying that word?
The white boy.
The white boy.
What's his name?
He wouldn't be talking about it. It's like,
The white boy. Yeah. But
He had long hair. Cooper or something.
Cooper. Riley Cooper.
Riley Cooper.
Okay. So
I figured it out.
So Riley Cooper says that his teammates are furious with him.
pissed.
He's still in the league.
Yes.
Where?
I couldn't tell you, but I did see his name on the roster the other day. Ray Rice, obviously it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Ray Rice isn't in the league anymore. And I'm not putting a value on racism versus domestic abuse because they're both wrong.
Yeah.
But there was an attempt at redemption, an allowed attempt at redemption.
And it was
there was
years.
not.
It was years that he tried to get back in the league. Ray
Yeah.
Rice should have been back in the league.
Yeah.
And Riley
Yeah.
Cooper, did he get suspended?
He got sent to rehab for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Rehab.
Yeah.
What kind
Verbal
of,
rehab?
Right, what kind
Yeah.
of rehab?
Don't
do you-
say
Say
that.
that. Yeah, I was like, don't say that
legitimately,
anymore.
well, they sent it like he went to therapy for 2
Okay,
weeks.
therapy.
He went to therapy for 2 weeks and they said, "Oh,
Like, look,
he's
hey,
all
man, you
he's
gotta
all
stop
better."
saying the N-word. Rehab for the N. What the fuck?
He went to therapy for 2 weeks and he's like, "Okay, he's all better now."
Yeah.
So it's like in 2 weeks you
So-
got
so
rid
you're
of
telling
his
me
entire life.
like 20. It cures 27 years of racism
Right.
in 2 weeks. No, that's it.
And that's
don't.
when they had Deshaun Jackson and LaShawn McCoy.
It says former for everything.
He's not on a roster.
Oh, he's not on the roster.
Okay, but
The Bucks gave
Irrelevant, I know, but I just wanted to get that out.
Okay, yeah.
but he still was in the league.
He got
after that.
he
Yeah,
got
yeah.
some years.
Yes.
Yes,
after that.
Yes, he
But,
did.
you know, I talked to Zach about the whole Ray Rice thing, and he said, well, I mean, he was not necessarily declining, but it's hard.
His best years were
because-
definitely
Yeah,
behind
it looked like
Zach.
it was gonna. It
But
was coming
but
up.
with Riley
I
Cooper,
feel like he was still better than some.
He was
Yeah,
he
for
could he
sure.
was better than plenty of 32 running backs in the
had
league.
that incident not happened, he would have had 2-3 more years in the
Yes.
league.
yeah, for sure.
Ray Rice had some great years.
I loved Ray Rice.
I had him on
So
fantasy.
little.
Had him on fantasy football, and he was cold.
Yeah.
He was cold. He could catch the ball out of the backfield. He could do so much. But yeah, therein lies the unfortunate
Right.
Problem that we have.
So-
diversity in the sense of racist.
We're going to take a break because we don't have a whole lot of time left. AK wants to get home and watch the World Cup game, which we are going to touch a little bit on, not a lot. So
Croatia.
this is Smack Talk. We'll be right back.
Yesterday, yeah. No, you know, actually, I didn't really play Fortnite at all yesterday. PZ came by. We played some FIFA. Yeah, we were getting down, and then Justin came by, busted his ass twice. He left. He was pissed. He was salty as hell. He was talking shit too, because he was like, "Whose ass you busting in FIFA?" I said, "I'm playing PZ." He said, "Ben, I'm about to come by and bust that ass. You suck." Came over, got his ass beat twice, and then left. Got his ass beat twice. She's like, "Bro, you played this today." I said, "Shut the fuck up."
Really what he said?
Yeah. I said, "Bro."
Anthony just beat you 2 nights ago?
Zach, you still ain't bought new boots? Bro.
Look at that arthritis
Bro,
in his hip,
that
dude.
motherfucker's like this. It looks like you climbing up a fucking mountain sideways and shit. What the fuck, bro? My legs would be hurting in that, but my ACL would have torn them motherfuckers instead of on the court. Instead of on the court.
My knee was killing me yesterday.
You think your man feet ain't supposed to be like this, goddamn. They're supposed to be flat. This dude, goddamn it. Even Joe went and got new boots, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh, them Tim work boots hit.
They're nice, bro. I got a pair of them too. Them bitches, I just can't wear them.
Those are downstairs.
They were, goddamn. They're Nims now.
He said they're Nims. Mims.
All right, y'all ready? All right, welcome back to Smack Talk. Leave it on the court. I don't know what's going on over there. So we, after a I love the heated NFL debates that we had here, but we do have to talk about NBA. I'm sorry, Joe.
All right.
So
Jimmy, it's okay. It's not LeBron.
yeah, it's Jimmy. I love talking
Well,
about
Joe
Jimmy.
likes talking Jimmy.
So
Jimmy
You got
back.
sunbursts, sir?
No, I'm good now.
you look, you
Oh, no,
over
you guys
here,
got Parker. You guys don't need Jimmy.
Well, he does
Let's
have
not go
a
there.
second-year option.
The second year option is the only thing that I
That's
like
a key.
about it.
Team
It's
option.
key about it. Yeah,
That's what makes it
Right.
not a
Yeah.
bad deal.
Huge.
Okay, so Jimmy Butler was offered, it was
110, I think, right?
4 years, 110, yeah. So basically 27 and a half a year. Extension from the Timberwolves, he declined it. Now, we've already been talking about we think Jimmy's gone as soon as his contract's up, and this furthers the thought. Now, the other thing is he's not eligible for the Supermax. No. But if he makes it into an All-NBA team this year, he is. So it could.
All-Star, I believe it is. He's got to play.
He already
I-
did.
It's All-NBA. That's
Yeah.
they do it based off
Yeah,
All-NBA.
yeah.
I was about to say All-Star.
'Cause he already did.
You can't give them
All-Star's
super
finicky.
contracts.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
So if he makes one of the 3 All-NBA teams, he's eligible for the Supermax, which could be why he declined his option because he knows there's a chance for him to make a lot more money. But realistically, if we're being honest, I think we all see the writing on the wall. He wants to get as far away from Tibbs as he can now.
Hoiberg's about to leave. We're getting Jimmy back.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Such a
sure.
stretch,
Jimmy's
bro.
going
I
back.
would-
That's a super stretch. But
Yeah.
I'll hold on to
New
whatever I
York.
can.
I already told you he's going to New York.
So
I mean, if Jimmy comes back, Hoiberg isn't coach.
I know.
Hoiberg isn't the coach
I don't
regardless.
want Hoiberg at all.
I didn't even know who he was until you. To be completely honest.
He was the coach of the team that beat Kansas a lot in college basketball. Iowa State. Still nothing.
I know who he is until you guys drafted him, or until you guys signed him. I didn't know who he was till then.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I know who he is now, obviously, but I'm saying who is he?
But it was supposedly because I listen to a lot of sports radio, that was one of the worst kept secrets that he was going to be the guy after Tibbs. Like it was basically called on all the.
writing on the wall.
It was writing on the wall. They're going to fire
Former
Tibbs
Bull.
and they're going to hire Fred
Former
Hoiberg.
Bull. And
Gar Forman is friends with him,
Yep.
and that's why that's why he got the contract that he got, and that's why he's lasted as long as
I
he
think
has.
it's
As
interesting.
a Bulls fan, I would not be a Bulls fan after that because he signed.
You seen how I acted? I
Yeah.
barely watched him.
I've not watched them in
What?
2 years.
He-
I refuse.
I'd
to
write
give
him a
money to
letter.
him.
He
I'd write him a
definitely
letter.
has gotten better though in the second season, but there's still a lot
'Cause
of
the players got a little
only
better.
pass that
Yeah, well,
give
I
him-
mean,
The players
who
got
did he
better.
have the season before?
only pass that I
Jimmy
give
had
him-
Jimmy
nobody.
Butler and Dwayne Wade, but they weren't playing into his system at all.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I
The
mean?
only pass
So-
that I give him is he didn't have players that fit his system.
He-
That's the only pass
He
did.
can't coach big egos.
No.
I'm convinced of that.
Oh,
He coached
Young-
at Iowa State.
Young play, young players. He's great with because
But also, like we said, a coach can ruin your career more in college than in the NBA. So those
Yeah.
players almost have to.
you
kinda
got
buy
to
in.
listen to him. Yeah,
In the NBA, they're like you said, I make more than you.
but also
Shut up.
on a team like the Bulls where everybody's kind of on a hot seat of trying to either keep their spot or keep their time in the league, they're gonna listen to him.
It's
Yeah,
almost
of course.
dysfunctional.
I was very.
man, there's some
The
things
Bulls
that
are
need
a
to be
dysfunctional.
fixed.
So does Jimmy? What do you think he's gonna do? I mean, I think he's gonna go to New York.
You really think so? But then I feel like he only does that if he can get Kyrie to come with him.
Or Dame. They're talking about
Maybe,
trading for
yeah,
Dame.
Yeah,
Maybe.
they were talking about trading for Dame. I did see that.
So you bring Dame there, you got Porzingis, but the only problem with Dame is we don't have a lot of pieces to give them, and they're gonna want
Right.
shit we don't want to give up. Let me just rephrase that. So I don't think. Actually, I don't even know if Jimmy's gonna
Yeah,
go.
because I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know.
I feel like it's more like honestly.
Because I don't have faith in the Knicks.
You were so
God damn
confident
it.
in that last week, and you're
Yeah.
backtracking already.
No,
I'm
you-
not a Knicks fan by any means, but I do want to see them relevant again.
Yeah,
because
people keep
when
on
they
saying-
were relevant. The East was exciting to watch.
Yeah, but people keep on saying Brooklyn or the Knicks, but I just can't see that. You know what I mean?
Brooklyn financially makes more sense.
Well, yeah, because they can afford it.
Well, we have
so
space
can
for
the
two
Knicks.
max
So
deals.
can the Knicks.
We have two
Guys
space
do.
for
Guys
two max
do.
deals, and we're talking about getting rid of Courtney Lee and someone else to open up
Mm-hmm.
even more space to add a third all-star if we wanted to. I don't like that kind of play. That's just
Too
not
much
me.
money in three
Yeah.
players.
Not even just that. I don't like building that. I just don't like that. I'm not one to sign like the Golden State does. They sign. They have 5 all-stars on their team. Like I could see if they were organically and they were all 5 all-stars, cool. But if we get
3 of them
Jimmy
are.
and we got, I would rather have Kyrie and Porzingis together than Jimmy and Porzingis together.
The thing is
personally.
that Kyrie is more of a team player than Jimmy is. I mean, Jimmy likes to hold the ball a lot.
Jimmy plays
and
ball
he-
like the 90s.
He's
Yeah.
also a 2 guard though. He's not a point. You're as a 2 guard. You're not even supposed to bring the ball up court. It's a point
It depends
guard.
on the system, but
But that's why it's a point
Successful,
guard.
successful systems, it's the point guard.
Yeah, so you got Jimmy bringing the ball up court. He's not naturally.
His skill set does not fit him bringing the ball.
But he still calls for the ball a lot. Like Jimmy has
does,
to have
you're
his
right.
Jimmy time,
You're right.
and sometimes that's to the detriment of a team.
And I'm not
Yeah,
saying
but
it's-
you have D Rose as your point guard, and who else is yours?
I'm not even talking about just D Rose. I'm talking about
No, I'm
yeah,
saying
like when he
where
was with
Jimmy's
him.
at
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's got to bring the ball up court because who else is bringing the ball up court? You
Yeah.
go somewhere with
Jeff
a Kyrie.
Teague.
You,
Yeah.
you go there with
yeah.
a Kyrie.
You give me another time, Mark.
Like, that's what he's saying right there.
All right, so so Jimmy, I don't know where Jimmy's gonna go, but I'm confident that he's gonna leave Minnesota.
I
Yeah.
do find it interesting how he feels about Karl Anthony Towns because I could definitely see where he gets frustrated because a lot of times, like in big time games, Karl Anthony Towns gets bullied. Like I've seen him get bullied by other people when he should. Like I remember I saw DeMarcus Cousins guarding him.
He should.
I think
know
Jimmy.
exactly what you're
Yeah.
I think Jimmy has
He
felt
should
this
be
way.
pushing people around.
I think Jimmy has felt this way about Karl Anthony Towns all season, but he can't get away with saying it until after the playoffs happened. When everyone, it was so
Yeah.
blatant because the Timberwolves don't get a lot of primetime basketball games.
they
But
don't.
when you're front and center in the playoffs and your
You get-
supposed best player is putting up offers,
You get exposed.
you get exposed. And
Oh,
now
yeah.
and now Jimmy can say, I don't like his mentality on the
Oh,
court.
yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, you know what? He's got a point.
And he knew his time's up there. You know, it's like say what you got. That's what I say. But
Say how you feel.
Yeah, Jimmy is in,
yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
is in complete control in that situation.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're also saying that Jimmy could get a $140 million contract from somebody else the next season too. So why would you, if you don't even like the team, why would you even stay there? Like it doesn't even make sense because you're going to be losing money and you're going to be on a team with a player that doesn't seem like he has
Well,
a will
and
that
playing-
matches yours.
Playing with Tibbs shortens your career.
Oh, it does. And Jimmy's getting older, and I think he realized that a little bit more. Like, bro, I can't do what I used to. I ain't
Sick of
22.
playing 48 minutes.
Luol Deng has extended his career purely because Tibbs isn't riding him.
Yeah, I love Luau,
Same.
and I'm not even a Bulls fan, but I loved Luau because I loved how he guarded LeBron and KD.
He was one of the, he was one of the few guys that could do it for an entire game.
LeBron was only getting about 23 points, 25 points a game, and
He probably hit his average, 27. You know what I mean? For sure.
yeah.
But he wasn't
But it was a
destroying.
quiet 27. It was.
He had to work for
I'm
it.
working for
But
it.
then everybody else on the Bulls had to guard D Wade or Chris Bosh. So yeah, of course it's good. Yeah.
There's the whole
Large
point. There's a whole
difference.
point.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that.
Yeah. That's why LeBron only had 20, but
Yeah.
it's still Luau
Right.
guarded him. Probably the best player to defend LeBron I think I've ever seen. In the sense,
Jimmy's there
What about-
too. Jimmy's up there.
What about
Jimmy-
Kawhi?
Kawhi is, but Kawhi, I mean, he's got hurt. I mean, he's,
Oh, like-
he's irrelevant to me
yeah.
at this point in time because he was out an entire year.
Yeah.
Luau was just so long that he just
bothered
caused,
him.
He caused him nightmares. He
Yeah.
pissed him off.
Luau
Jimmy-
was very underrated.
Hey, Luau made LeBron into what he is now. LeBron is such a better scorer now
Because
he had to- he
no
had
one
to-
guards him like that anymore.
He said, "I remember what Luau had to do to me. I had to work on everything. My shot had to go better."
I love that
do-
he's making like 20 mil a season and only played like 8 minutes last season. So I thought that was pretty
Hey,
cool. for
I'm
him.
all for former Bills getting their money. I'm all for former Bulls.
And I
getting
like
their money.
Luau. He was a bull that I actually liked a lot.
Well, he's a team
Yeah.
player, so
Yeah,
he
pretty
did what-
and he's a
respectable,
defender, and I love that. I love watching people play defense. He was a two-way player. I remember Luau used to have a little jumper on him. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah, for
So
sure.
like,
No, for sure. He
He
had
was
the three-point
probably
shot.
at one point in time he was probably the best two-way player in the league for a couple years.
Arguably, for sure. I'll give you the
Who
arguably.
else? I mean,
You
at
could-
that point in time,
He was never
I'm
going to
not
get
sure.
that kind of recognition. but
Kawhi
you could
wasn't.
have that argument.
Kawhi wasn't there
Yeah,
yet.
he wasn't there. I know
So
what you're
at
talking
that
about.
point in
Yeah,
time, there was
no.
really no other two-way players in the sense of being able to score 25 points if he wanted to, and D up the best player on the team.
But he was so
And limit
selfless that he was
turnovers.
never going to average
Luau
25
limited
points.
his turnovers. He
Yeah.
wasn't a turnover.
No, he wasn't. He got rebounds. I liked him a lot. That's why I loved him.
So we're not going to be on NBA a lot today, just because we talk it all the time, and there are other subjects we want to get to.
What episode are we on? 14? I think we talked NBA.
13.
every episode.
13.
Yeah, we're episode 13.
There's no football. Wait till football.
I know.
We're gonna be
Yeah, then we'll be your favorite football show.
yeah. Smack football.
Leave it on the field.
Late last night,
Name change.
you know,
Season change with the season.
do you know
I
how,
like it, I
do you
like
know
it.
how hard it is to get all this promotional stuff up? Late last night, it broke that the Cardinals have decided to fire their manager, Mike Matheny, And AK, you had an interesting point on what you think it means for the Cardinals going forward.
Yeah. I in my take, it's one of two things. I feel that they know that they are crashing and burning in the sense of after this year. I mean, they don't have much going on. I don't follow the Cardinals like that. You guys obviously follow them a lot more. But either they're crashing and burning, and they're saying, let's get rid of him now and slowly start moving pieces around as early as we possibly can, or they know they're on the up and up with young guys coming up from the system, and they're going to get rid of him now because
they want to change
not being biased because I'm a Yankees fan, but they did that to Joe Girardi.
Right?
Yeah.
He was there for the bad times. Yeah. He finally got some young guys. He makes it to the ALCS, loses by one game, and they fire him the next year.
And they openly said it didn't matter what we did.
No,
he was gone.
Yeah, he was gone either way. Yeah. I don't. If they fired him for that reason, I feel bad for the guy because that's tough.
He'll land on his feet though.
I'm sure he will. Yeah. There's a lot of clubs that could easily use. I mean, the White Sox.
There you go.
KC,
legitimately, yeah.
Texas. I mean, there's a lot of teams, and he's not. I mean, he kept them afloat with.
Yeah, he started off his tenure 4 straight playoff appearances.
You know
what I mean? And when we knocked him out,
I think a big problem with everything is that him and Dexter Fowler don't talk, and it's like a legitimate report, and they're not on speaking terms, and they're saying that might be the case with a lot of the players on the team. So I think that he's not even one. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure it's not just one player. And
I mean that could make a lot of sense on why they're struggling. It could be a mentality thing for all the players.
Well, because if your coach can't talk,
but is it a language thing? I know they have interpreters all the time, but it's hard to do something on the fly with an interpreter. Is it a language thing, or is it Dexter Fowler? Obviously, he speaks English. Dex speaks English, but I'm saying other players, if there are other players, is it a language barrier thing? Because you think about it, there's a lot of foreign players that play baseball.
But you don't really hear about that with other teams.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it might be coming up because Dexter, brought it to attention that they don't speak. And then, like I said, if it comes up that, he's not speaking to so-and-so, so-and-so, if they all speak English, then it's him. Yeah. It's 100% him.
I look at Mike Matheny as anti-Joe Madden. He is as anti-Joe Madden as it gets as far as from a manager's perspective. He's a no-nonsense, we're gonna come and play the game the way that it was played for all these years. It promotes.
It's either gonna work or it doesn't.
Right? Yeah, you gotta have the right guys, and the way that players are coming up. These young players, they want to have fun. They want to win, but they want to have fun. And if you're, drill sergeant in the clubhouse, then it takes out the life.
It comes back to play about the players as a whole. Their mentalities are changing.
Javi Baez, if he was on the Cardinals, he wouldn't be half the player he is, simply because Mike Matheny would not allow him to be.
He probably would hate it.
I mean,
too.
Look at the hit Dexter or the loss Dexter took by going to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean,
when you're having fun, you're a lot
49 or something.
You're a lot more loose. I mean, that's how a lot
comfortable.
Of these players
you're
are.
not on eggshells.
You're not on
eggshells. When you're on eggshells,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? You're always going to be timid on what you do. So you might not swing at that 3-0 pitch that could be out the park. You let it take it, and then it's a 3-1, and they come back and strike you out.
And I don't think that Mike Matheny is a bad manager. He took them to the World Series. Yeah. Granted, it's arguable how much of it was his team that he took because it was early in his career.
And
but
would he still have Wainwright still too?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was the dude was an ace.
Yeah.
I mean, you have an ace. They don't have that ace no more. It's a little different.
Yeah, not to that level.
I'm stealing Deion's honey too, by the way. I just noticed that.
Right.
But no, I understand what you're saying though, Zach. Like, what I'm saying? Like, how much?
If you're going to suck all the fun out of the players' love of the game, they're not going to perform at that same high level.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's when they start hating the team. They start hating the organization. They start hating the coach.
But,
you could lose a lot of motivation.
Oh,
and that's the thing. Like, if your coach can't communicate to you, what do you do at that point? Because they're the leader of the team.
You shut down. Like legitimately. So I think a lot of guys play through injuries, but now, like, if you're in that situation and you get hurt, it's like I probably could play, but you know what? No. So put me on the DL.
No. They look at it as their health is more important than that playing in every single game. Look, there's no Cal Ripken Juniors anymore. Think about me.
You're never going to see that again.
No, never. I mean,
even if a player wants
even
to play
if he's 19,
game,
they're not going to let him play.
Yeah, most managers aren't going to allow you to
they're
play
not
that.
going to allow it.
They don't. They don't let them play. The only people that I ever really see play consistently, I mean, our first baseman stays the same quite often. That's really about the only position that really ever stays consistent because
Yeah, first
DD
base.
gets days off. I mean, everybody does. I
Yeah.
mean, DL, like you said, more guys are going on DL for small, minor things nowadays.
Clayton Kershaw goes into DL every season now, and yes, they are legitimate injuries, but I think that the Dodgers would do it anyway just to make sure that
Save
he's
his
not
elbows.
exactly when the playoffs come. He's not tired.
Wrist, everything, you know. And I don't blame
A
him.
10-day DL is a lot more common than it was a few
Yeah.
years ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look on the game day stuff, and you look at injuries. 10-day DL, 10-day DL, 10-day DL, 10-day DL.
Yeah.
It's like, man, how many you guys got on there? It's like almost an excuse just to get some rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But hey, the NBA does it now. Why
NBA
can't they do it? They play 162 games.
Right.
And I mean,
It's
Anthony
a
Rizzo
marathon.
wants it, I think, at 140. Like he wants the amount of games played to definitely be drastically cut. I mean, and I don't know if I'm a fan of that just because of numbers. Like statistically, it
It
would be
screws
weird.
up all the numbers in baseball.
There be no records broken basically.
Ever.
after
Yeah,
that point in time.
that's what I'm saying. But
But
he
some
brings
were
up a good
broken
point.
because they extended the season though.
Yes. That is
Because
true.
when Babe Ruth and all them played, they didn't play all the 162
It was
games.
like 100. It was like 150.
It's 'cause they had other jobs. Most
It,
of those
it was,
players.
no, it was
you know, they-
115 to start out
115.
back in the
Okay,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or not 115, 116 back in the day. And then they bumped it up to 162.
Yeah, okay.
That's what they did. But I'm saying, so, I mean, if you take it back down, you got to basically take it back down to there and then have an asterisk for all the people from when it changed to 162 games in their
It's-
own bracket
it's,
to their.
It's doable.
Yes.
But it's always about money. They're never going to take away games.
No.
That's
The
never
owners
going to
aren't gonna
happen.
agree with
No.
Yeah, no, they're never
I
going
would
to
think it would bring more money in the sense of baseball if there's less games, though, because more games are more important.
Yeah.
There's
It's
less.
like the
Think
NFL,
about in the beginning.
every
it-
single-
Bro, you got
There's
30,000
10 people in there.
You're right.
There's 10 people in
Yeah,
the
you
stands.
start
Hey,
the
the
season.
Sox played with no attendance the very first game at
There's
home.
literally 300 people in there. Yikes.
People still wouldn't be there.
Yeah, you start.
Even if you had less
But
games.
what he's
yeah.
saying
Yeah.
is don't have the games in April when it's still 38 degrees
Yeah,
outside.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Nobody's coming.
The Cubs are still recovering from canceled games.
Right.
They're still making
We
up
still
games.
got. I think we still got to play Atlanta twice, and I hate that. I wanted to get them done and over with. We still got to
and
play them
and
twice.
and now they're in a groove, so it's kind of now it sucks. But we got to make up those games,
And they were hard to beat regardless.
right? So
I get that straight
Yeah, I don't
from
think they're
over.
gonna. I don't think they're going to take the games down. I just don't think they would do it.
yeah, no, it's
I
no
would
sport
like
would.
to
They're
see-
like, we're gonna
I'll-
make you work for this
Right.
20 million this year.
I would
Yeah,
like to
we're
see
gonna-
it for the players' sake. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
Give
I agree.
them because if you win a World Series, bro, what do you have? 60-some days of off season, and then you're right back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But
And if you're a high caliber player, you're right back in the gym.
But like we said, people are taking more time off nowadays, so they're not playing the games like they
True.
were 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, to where they were playing.
Like where they're always trying to play every game.
Yeah,
They're still
now
playing
Yeah.
so even if they
140
go to the
150
even if they
though.
go to the World Series and they take 20 games off next season, just 2 stints on the DL on a 10-day DL, there you go. That knocks out 20 games.
But
for them.
it's a 10-day deal, not a 10-game deal.
Well, 10
so
days,
it's-
yes, but
I feel you though.
I want to speed this up because there's 2 more topics that I want to talk about, and then we got to get to our players of the week before this World Cup final starts. So we're gonna stick with baseball. Talking Bryce Harper. The Nationals
Again?
Yes, I'm talking again.
Again.
So the Nationals are probably going to miss the playoffs. Do you guys think it's a good idea for them to consider trading him for the deadline?
What's he worth?
his stock's not very
I'm
high
a
right
GM.
now.
For what? I got a 23-year-old that's putting the same numbers up that you are. Not in the same consistency, but potentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing that he's got up right now is his home runs. His home runs is the only thing saving him and having
His
a
RBIs are a
respectable.
little up there too.
Yeah.
But
Which a
that's-
product.
but that's only
It's a
the two
product.
things,
Yeah. His batting average is atrocious.
Yeah, I don't
For
know.
a hit-
this-
for a
I
him.
know last
It's
year
214.
it
No,
was,
I mean, it's
it was
214.
219.
Yeah, it's
when we
214.
checked last
214
week.
is atrocious for anybody. Like, you know
But-
what I
but
mean?
for-
Like,
for-
That's exceptionally atrocious.
Yeah,
for Bryce
yeah,
Harper.
For
So
Bryce
you're
Harper.
telling me that's
for a
worth
$300 million.
no, I
That's not
don't.
worth
I
3.
don't.
That's worth 186 like Jay Hay got. And Jay Hay's a better right fielder.
And Jay Hay took a pay cut.
Jay Hay took a pay cut for that.
You know,
That 400 million.
I mean,
talk
that'd be a
is
pay
bad.
cut for
A lot of
of
right.
Bryce Harper. That's a
Absolutely.
huge pay
for
cut.
of
Bryce
his
Harper.
caliber, yeah.
I think somebody,
Some big dumb dummy.
yeah, some organization is going to pick him up. You don't see any of the top, let's say top 10 teams. I don't think are
Contending teams are not
contending to go
yeah.
get him. I mean, in all
because
reality,
I think all the contending teams have their right field position pretty locked
and
up.
they're
They're
a lot of
comfortable
them
with it.
and the contending teams they're talking about Manny Machado.
Yeah.
They're not even worried about him. In all reality, he's irrelevant at this point.
Well, I think it's also because of like
Manny's always still hitting over 300 right now.
he's always pretty consistent.
But
also, I just want to say, because like, if you get Manny Machado on your team, you probably have a better chance of signing him back on your team, like re-signing him, than you do Bryce Harper.
I think Bryce Harper may already know where he wants to go.
That's basically how I feel about it.
The reason I
he can
believe
swayed.
that is because Manny Machado has been on the Orioles, and they have sucked for a long time. They had like 2 good years, and then they went back to sucking after that.
Yeah.
Washington, since Bryce Harper has been there, they've kind of...
They've been on the cusp.
They've been on the cusp. Something, yes.
Yeah.
They've had something to go along, and then they keep adding a few more pieces. They added Scherzer. You know what I'm saying? That intrigues people to stay. Or the Orioles haven't done anything,
Right.
so Manny's more loyal. I feel.
Well, you trade Manny Machado to a team that has like a legitimate playoff run, and he experienced that, and he's like, oh, I could,
I like
I like that.
I don't know how he
Right.
said it in Spanish, but he said it something like that. But the problem with Manny Machado too is he doesn't fit any of the top teams' positions. None of them need shortstops
No, and they're gonna
or
have to give
third
up a lot.
basemen. Nobody. Think about Houston. They don't need them. The Yankees, we don't need them.
Cubs.
You guys really don't need them.
No.
I
No,
mean,
we
you guys
don't
would
need
take
them.
them in the
We-
sense of
Yeah, it could be an upgrade.
It would be
an
an
upgrade
yeah.
for
but,
sure.
but
Yeah,
you guys,
like a big upgrade.
You're not really that broke.
What,
so why
well,
not?
what we have to give up to get him isn't worth it.
No,
to us.
exactly. And the same thing with
Especially for a possible.
Are you
win.
saying in a trade or in a signing?
Well,
A trade.
signing's got to
Trade.
wait
Yeah.
till the
yeah,
end.
the
Yeah,
tight-
that's what- no,
we're-
that's what I'm
we're
saying
talking
too, yeah.
mid-season.
I think.
I think
some of
Manny's
these-
gonna
I just
get
wanted to
traded.
clarify,
I think Manny's going to get traded, but I was talking about. I was reading an article about if they the race for him now at the trade deadline, or B next year when he's a free agent. Is the only reason that like they were talking about the Yankees and Boston, that the only reason any of those two teams would get him is so the other wouldn't get him.
I believe that.
And I'm like, that's sad. Like that it comes to that. They have to battle.
But those two teams particularly, that's how they operate.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, there's a lot of players. Johnny Damon, Roger Clemens. I mean, they all come from the other organization and go to the
And
next.
they're
It's never
hated.
from New York to Boston. It's always from Boston to New York. It's never. I can't think of a New York player that's gone to Boston.
Post Yankees.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. It's always Boston
I
comes
think
to
you're right.
New York.
I think you're right with
It's
that.
because they want that big paycheck.
Yeah,
That's the only
They want that
reason.
Yankee paycheck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So Bryce Harper, we're done with that. AK, you have something very important that you're trying to get to. That's why we're in such a rush to wrap up. I want you to tell us how you feel about Croatia in the World Cup final.
Croatia's gonna win. They got a better midfield. Two of their midfielders play. One plays for Real Madrid. The other plays for Barcelona. So obviously they have the knowledge, the experience, and the talent pool to contend. France is young, so I'm not going to put that past them in the sense of the maturity to win the World Cup. But I think it's gonna be a tough match for them. I think it's gonna be Croatia. It's gonna be tight. It might be 1-0, 2-1. It's not gonna be a blowout, and I don't think they'll go into PKs. I think they might. I hope they don't go into extra time. But yeah, no, I'm going for Croatia. Obviously, I'm Croatian, so I'm rooting for them. Woo.
We should have adopted them as the team
We
for
should
the
have.
World Cup before the
Just
season
to
started.
let everybody smack talk, everybody, all the listeners, I call the Uruguay Croatia in the group stage. Obviously, Uruguay is not there, but I called.
Call him a genius.
I
That's what he said to me.
I did say that.
And I really don't want to do this on air, but a lot of AK's takes are usually on. There's one in particular that me and Joe are not gonna remind you of.
You have to now.
What?
Bro. You took the cat out the bag, and that's on you. Have
So all right, so there's this. So do you remember me, you, and Joe were at the bar and we were talking football before the season even started last year, and you said, and we were talking about the Giants. We were talking about the
Okay.
Giants, and we said, all right, who's the team in the division you're most scared of? And you said the Eagles, and me and Joe laughed at you.
Oh yeah, I remember that
Me
now.
and Joe laughed at you, and then the fucking Eagles are in the Super Bowl. I said, Joe,
kept that concept. I'm not saying shit.
I would have never remembered if you guys didn't bring that
I
up.
said, Joe, fucking AK called this shit.
Did something right for once, Mama.
And I mean, it was like we were getting into a heated debate at the
Like
bar.
we were crushing you at the bar.
Yep.
But
remember that,
you
but-
were right. Like you were right, and I didn't see the Eagles being what they
but
were.
it's because I see them all the time. It's like if you guys would call the Cardinals to win the World Series one year or go, you know what I'm saying? You guys
Fair.
know
Yes.
That's fair.
Just like Boston, how I am with Boston. I know Boston.
Hey man, I was trying
strongly.
to shoot you some credit.
I know, I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, games comes on, so you guys will obviously know the outcome of the game. But I'm picking Croatia, so if I'm right, follow us. Tell all your friends. they got a genius on that table. Name's AK.
All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's do our players of the week. Brandon, since you are our guest today, I'm gonna let you start off if you're ready for your player of the week.
My player of the week is definitely Wendell Carter. I was a little skeptical of the pick of him at first. I thought maybe they could have traded down for him and still got him. But after seeing his play, he looks like he's the second best center in the summer league right now. So that's over, I think, to my personal opinion, Marvin Bagley and Mo Bamba. So just with that in mind, like I think that puts him way above than what I even expected him to do.
Playing them better than Bagley right
Yeah,
now.
definitely. I mean, he's averaging 14.6 points, 9.4 rebounds. I like what I'm seeing from him. I like his defensive ability, and I think that's exactly what the Bulls wanted from him. So everything you wanted to see from Wendell Carter Jr., he showed you. Now, we still need to see it in the actual NBA.
Because I made a point. I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
I
it's
made a
okay. You can
point
comment on
about
it.
Wendell Carter, and he's making these big blocks right now. Yes, it's against summer league competition, but at least he has the mindset to come over and help and make that
Rotational.
play and
Well, he's
be
shown
in that
yeah.
position.
Well,
He's
Defensive
shine
minded.
away from-
Defensive
I
minded.
think he got drafted and they said this is what we need you to be. We need you to be our defensive.
If you
anchor.
score the ball once, you're canned. Blocks,
we
and
still
blocks.
need about
No, we
17
still need
out of
to
him.
score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'll take 17 out of him. Yeah, that's true. But like, we want you to be our defensive anchor, and that's primarily what his.
I think
focus
he's
is
going to
on.
average 12 probably his rookie season, I'm assuming.
I'll take that.
But that's good, though.
Honestly,
that's
he might be able to
definitely
average
really
a little
good.
bit more in that system because in all
Put
reality,
backs.
who's requiring the ball that much
I
on
mean,
that team?
Levine.
I don't
But
know.
I'm saying like there's
Parker.
no KD on the team to where he
Yeah, it's-
he
no, it's
needs,
definitely
he needs
impossible.
20.
No
Field
ball
goal
dominant.
Yes. There's no ball dominant. There's no James Harden on the team.
I just like the amount of effort that he has shown
totally
because it
agree.
is the summer league and a lot of people like look at DeAndre Ayton, right? He is playing outstanding, but if you watch him play, it doesn't look like he's trying. It's just because he's that good. Like Wendell,
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah, he is
that good.
Wendell Carter is
Wendell Carter,
Balls
yeah,
to the
yeah,
wall.
no, he's
you know what I
definitely
mean?
hooping.
Like
Right.
he actually cares about these games that actually don't mean anything because he already has a contract.
He
He's
played
already
for Coach
starting.
K, though, too, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no,
That's
yeah.
the mentality.
It's that's basketball smarts too.
So that's what I like out of him.
All right, who wants to go next for the player of the week? Me.
oh yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, I got.
Let me think about who he's actually.
Who's he picking?
I said who I was gonna pick already. I'm gonna go with Javi Baez this week, and we talked about him last week, and we talked. I don't care.
We're on
I
the
don't
cap
care.
limit of Javi Baez's
Man had
name.
5 RBIs last night.
bro. Like, but he keeps playing. He keeps playing good. I don't know what you want me to do.
Extra innings, bro. Scores from first.
Extra innings, off a error that I honestly believe that he caused. I think that he's gotten to the point this year where he's in their head.
Yeah.
He's in every team's head. It's like, I don't want Javi Baez to be the guy to like have that big play, and then you make a mistake, and then Javi Baez has a big play. They had the error thrown to second, and most players would have just lightly jogged to third and taken that.
He took home.
Javi Baez booked for home. An extra innings in a tied game, and that was the score. That was the run that ultimately decided the game. His presence of mind, his base running, his ability to play loose and free all the time.
What did we say it last week? He runs the bases fearlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I
he
mean,
absolutely-
he stole home in the playoffs. He stole home in the playoffs.
When it's not even something that you would think of doing in that situation. He had
Not even in the regular season.
Yeah.
Not even then.
Javi Baez steals home more than anybody, period. He had 5 RBIs last night. He's gearing up for, the home run derby. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean all that stuff is irrelevant to me. Home run derby, All-Star
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, but
it doesn't
I'm good.
mean like it used to. If
True,
it would have been,
yeah.
it would speak a
The
little
names
bit better
the
for
names
him.
don't do it for the home run derby
No,
anymore.
no,
they
no,
don't.
Don't
not-
you feel like they should go back to the 10 outs? If you don't hit a home run, it's an out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like.
I
that's
agree.
another
Yeah,
topic, though.
yeah. I mean, they've changed everything obviously to make it more fan based to where let's get as many home runs as we possibly
Well,
can.
numbers were down, so they're trying to change it up and get people
And
to
then
watch
I
again.
feel like these top home run hitters, Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, Aaron Judge. I mean, these are the guys that we want to see.
Well, Aaron
Granted,
Judge did
I
it
love
last
Schwarber
year.
And I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Baez, and yes, I'm going to root for him, but I mean, I want to see the big hitters. I want to see those
Yeah.
guys that You know what I mean?
The power, the guys that
Right.
come up.
Right.
But unfortunately,
They look at it different. They're like, why am I gonna do this? I'm trying to win.
I crank home runs every single game.
Also,
I mean,
if you pay attention to it too, like the players that are in the home run derby usually play worse afterwards. I don't know if it messes with their timing, but you know what
It's
I
their
mean?
swing.
Yeah,
You change your swing to,
Yeah,
you know.
'cause you're cranking one after another.
So
You
I'm
got
not
a
even
time limit to beat now.
As a
You know what I
Cubs fan, I'm not even happy that Baez and Schwarber are in it because I'm like,
Baez,
this
I'm
might
not
mess
worried
up their
about
swing.
because Baez does
Schwarber,
not
I
have
know.
the greatest mechanics as far as like how he goes about his swing. So I think he'll be able to undo whatever he does for the home run derby
he
really
ain't
quickly.
gonna change anything. What are you talking about? He's gonna swing the same.
on accident.
He swings.
There's
for
gonna be a
home
bunch of
runs.
ground balls that are going to the shortstop.
Javi Baez swings for the fences every time he's at bat anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't really worry about him, but I do worry about Kyle Schwarber. And you're right. It is known, and you know it's always talked about every year. The guys that get in it, they really go down. Let me just go on. AK, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. No, finish.
Yeah, no.
No, you're good.
I mean, I wasn't going to go on a big tangent on it.
Go
It's
ahead,
not that
Joe.
big of a deal.
I'm going with Croatia. One being. Whoa! What's that for?
AK gave a dirty look.
Well, never mind. Fuck Croatia.
Where's Italy?
I was about to just give them credit. I mean,
No, I'm fucking with you.
that part of the country, soccer is. It's the top dog. I mean, nobody really knows because we're in America and we got baseball, basketball, football. But over there, I mean, this is probably the biggest game single-handedly for this country.
Ever.
Hopefully they don't
Ever.
ever see, but as of right now, it's the biggest game that they.
Yeah, I mean,
The
well,
farthest they got was
almost-
third. They got third place in the World Cup.
I mean, you got a country of 4.5 million, 5 million people. I mean,
That's what we got in Chicago.
Right.
4 million people are going to watch this game, standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A country that, you know, a lot of adversity they had to go through in the 80s and the 90s, and now they're their own country. And it's,
Right, yeah,
This
recently.
could be, if they win this, that could solidify them as, you know, we're it. We're Croatia. That's
Yeah,
it.
we're here now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, soccer is just naturally bigger everywhere else
Yeah,
but
oh,
here
yeah.
because it's like everywhere else that's the main sport, almost everywhere
Yeah.
else.
Only reason why it's not a big sport here is because we suck at it.
Yeah.
That's the only
Except for
reason.
the women's.
The women, and even then
Yeah.
they've fallen off, unfortunately. But I remember I used to watch the women's more than men's because the men's
It was,
are.
it was more enjoyable to watch.
They're
I know.
terrible. The women would actually score the ball.
Yeah.
The scores weren't 0-1.
Get
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
World Cup final, too.
Yeah,
You know?
and then
And they won it. Yeah.
They won, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's
So that's
definitely.
mine. I know it's not a player, but that's who I picked.
We run pretty loose and free around here. AK.
You know, this is kind of crazy, but you know, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy about it. Obviously, I
We
just
already
said it.
think you're crazy, dog.
Yeah, that's not
Jimmy Butler,
Because he.
why.
because he's not going to play with Tibb anymore. He's not gonna let Tibb ruin
crazy.
his.
So you're applauding him essentially, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes
He's
sense,
my
yeah.
player because he wants to go
I can feel
somewhere
that.
and not get destroyed. He didn't want to stay in Chicago, obviously, because it wasn't a winning mentality.
He did want to stay, but he understood why they were trading him. He was like, you know what, I can't do anything about it. I'll just go.
You know, he wants to
Yeah.
win. I mean, everybody wants to
Oh,
win.
of
Who
course.
doesn't want to win? I mean, but for him to decline that amount of money is impressive nowadays because a lot of players, I mean, not let's say at Jimmy's caliber because Jimmy is obviously a spectacular player. He's a great two-way player. I mean, great two-way player. But for him to turn that down to stay in a team where they made the playoffs last year, they had that stretch where they were on fire, and then towards the end, the beginning, right before the playoffs started. I'm sorry for stuttering, but right before the playoffs started, they started to slow down. They dropped seeds. They were at the 3 seed at one
Yeah.
point in time, and then what they bounced down to.
Well,
like
they were
the
out of the
eighth
playoffs
seed,
for a
right?
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were,
yeah.
They're
But
the eighth seed.
but yeah, a lot of that was because Jimmy got hurt too.
Yeah, true, very true.
Jimmy, yeah.
Because what does Tibb do?
Runs his
Tibb-
players into the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's
Cat-
gonna
Carl
yeah.
Anthony Towns,
He's gonna get ran into the
Yeah.
ground. He's
if he
careful.
doesn't get out of there, if they don't get rid of Tibbs, his career is never going to get off the
I
ground.
am going to continue to say this. Tibbs is one Carl Anthony Towns injury away from getting fired.
Oh, you did say that. You did say that.
He has so much power there because he gets to control how the team looks like too.
But I promise you,
Yeah, he's like.
Carl-
President,
Yeah,
yeah,
he is.
like
He's-
basketball
yeah.
operations.
I promise you, Carl Anthony Towns gets hurt. The owner is going to step down and say, "No, what are you
You're
doing?"
outta
You did it in Chicago.
Yeah,
You did it to
you
D
have,
Rose.
you have a track record, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Luol Deng.
Security's
Joe
already on the way.
Joe Kim Noah. Yeah, get your shit and go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at one point in time, he had the bench mob, and they couldn't do it. Like you just couldn't do it because you ran them, and you had that bench, and you still ran your starters
And we
into
faced
the
LeBron.
ground.
Yeah, we faced LeBron.
Well, we faced LeBron. It was pre-championship LeBron. When
matter.
you
It's
still had a
Yeah,
chance.
it was pre-champ.
When you still had a chance because his psyche wasn't there.
No.
Yeah, true.
So
True.
But yeah, no, Jimmy is my leave on the court player because you know what he's
I like
thinking.
it.
I think he's
That's
thinking
different.
for his well-being and for his future at this, in the sense of career-wise at the same time.
Longevity.
Because he could stay there and
Yeah.
play with Karl
Even if you
Anthony
look at-
Towns and bring some players there and might do something.
they could be
But
competing
if
every
you
single
watch-
year and
yeah,
not do
like-
anything
but
really.
he's not
When you watch
sacrificing
the
his body
Timberwolves
anymore.
play, though, they have no chemistry on the court, and
Their
so I
system's
feel
terrible.
Yeah, their
I can't
offensive
speak
system
Tibb,
is
bro.
awful.
It's Tibb.
Even their defense was awful, and that's what he's known for. So at that point, it's like, okay, what am I playing with? My coach, that what he's known for is defense. My team is not playing good defense,
They
and
don't
we're
have
not
a
even playing
structured
good
offense.
offense.
Yeah.
So what are
Tibb
we
never
supposed to
had a
do at this
structured
point?
offense. He had D Rose that you could give him the ball and he would make something happen.
His best
That's what he
structured
lived on.
offense, honestly,
That's what
his
he lived
best
on.
structured offense is when Joakim Noah when they ran the ball through Joakim. That was the most
when
structured they
he
had.
was like top 7 in assists of
Yeah.
the entire league.
Yeah,
The
the
next
center.
closest center was like 32nd on the list.
yeah.
Triple double.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
hey.
why I love Noah.
That's why the Knicks gave him.
yeah,
all
that was
money.
probably actually
70
their
million for Joakim Noah, not even playing. It's not even play. Like that, let's just like, I'm happy for him.
you know how I
But-
feel about Phil Jackson.
That was
Yeah.
well,
It was Phil. It was Phil.
Yeah.
Phil killed us for. He ruined us for a couple
Derrick
years.
Rose was like, I sign Joakim Noah. We can make it back. And then he was like, you think so? You think so? All right, I'll do it. All right, don't worry about it. It's cool.
All right, so
Now he's got a blonde beard.
bro, his Instagram, I keep watching his Insta
I don't have him
story.
on
and I'm-
Instagram.
it's entertaining.
He's living his best life.
It's
He is.
It's
Yeah, honestly.
He's
entertaining.
collecting a fat check, growing a blonde beard, not playing basketball.
And
How
every
could you be mad? You
and every
could.
time the Knicks call him to talk about a buyout, no,
They're like, oh, sir, it's the Knicks. Tell him I'm fishing.
I'll be there when training
He's
camp
just got a
starts.
list of excuses for when the Knicks call. You marked that one off. I did that one. All right, I'll say this one next. I'm moving my friend out of his house.
He said he'd buy me pizza, so I'm gonna help him.
Yeah, that's exactly what Joakim Noah is doing. Shit, actually, you know what? He probably don't even have a telephone.
Probably
He's on some island.
Yeah,
They got to send him letters.
Rasta.
They're like, where do you buy stamps at nowadays? I haven't bought a stamp in 20 years.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. Once again, we hope you enjoyed this episode. I think you're right; it is episode 13. I'm going to
is
try
13.
to make. I'm going to try to make a conscious effort to give the number of the episodes before we really get into it. But this has been another episode of Smack Talk. Thank you, guys.
Yep.